The following podcast contains strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. I mean, how the hell am I supposed to pick one line out of a movie where every line is a quotable line? Rob, what's your favorite line?
Anybody want a peanut?
Tony, what's your favorite line?
Inconceivable.
Bric, shut up. John, what's your favorite line?
Fuck you.
That wasn't in the film.
Peter Falk probably said a couple of times, though.
All right, whatever. Go. Roll it.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Tony, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 4 a.m. podcast, the movie podcast for nerds and all other things. I forgot the intro. Hey, we did The Princess Bride. Tony, you ever seen this movie before? Okay. John, this was a sponsored episode by you.
Yeah, man.
Because John's here.
Yeah.
As well
Hi.
as.
Yeah.
Listen, who cares?
Lidocaine Bric.
Lidocaine Bric.
I care. I'm into Joe Montoya.
Yeah.
And I'm the Dread Private Robert.
I'm going with Prince Hump Your Kink.
That's
And
a good
that's
porn
that's
name.
not fair. Because I was for sure Inigo Montoni.
Oh, word.
Everybody, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com and let us know what you think John's persona is.
It's real easy.
It is real easy. Because it's like everybody's.
All right. See you next time.
So, yeah, where are we now?
Guys, we watched The Princess Bride this week as per orders via John and his sponsorship. So, thanks
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. I mean, we watch enough shit movies. I figured we should watch one that's pretty universally loved.
Pretty universally loved, yeah.
We'll get into it.
I have fond memories of this movie. I remember seeing it many times as a youngster. Tony, how about you?
Yeah, the same. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen it in its entirety, but I've certainly seen like parts of it on TBS or whatever. Like, God knows how many times. So, and yeah, I remember liking it.
Joe?
Yeah, I've seen it more times than I can count. I don't remember like when I
Three
started
times.
watching it because, many times.
Listen, I wouldn't expect somebody that can't count to know what 3 is many.
I told you many times. It's past 3. 1, 2, 3, many.
Just like a gully dwarf.
A gully dwarf.
And, sorry.
Either way, I've seen it a
D&D
lot.
reference.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Oh.
trying to say.
And, John, as you sponsored the episode, I assume that you've seen this before?
Oh, yes. Many, many times. Just going back to the late 80s and all the way through before today. I think the last time I watched it would have been just a couple years ago.
Did you put me on mute when you looked at me like that?
No.
Okay.
I think he's wondering if you've seen this before.
Oh no, well,
Before for this podcast viewing.
I think I was forced to watch it in its entirety before this time, but usually I try to avoid watching it in its entirety at almost all costs.
The absolute fucking travesty of you, mate.
Oh, you don't even know that.
One behind the scenes thing I should reveal. We almost had Becca for this episode.
Okay.
But she refused to come because she values her friendship with Bric so much that she was going to have to beat his ass.
Wow.
And she would have, because I don't fight.
So she does not listen to the podcast then, I hope.
She's going to skip this episode.
Lucky for me, I don't value anyone's friendship that highly. So, Tony, tell us a little bit about The Princess Bride.
Sorry, a little,
Is that an airhead?
Uh-huh.
I thought
Came
they
out of
were
this big
small.
box of Airheads.
No, I totally thought that they were small.
Airhead originated in Barf.
Very mouth-breathing way you delivered that. This giant box of airheads.
Thank you.
Airheads
Airhead.
gathered here today.
Go ahead, Joe. Keep it up. See what happens.
Get slapped with
So, we watched The Princess Bride, as you mentioned, from 1987, directed by Rob Reiner, who I don't believe we've done any of his stuff yet. Harry Met Sally, Stand By Me, This is Spinal Tap.
He did Spinal Tap?
This is Spinal Tap, yeah.
Wow.
He's the guy, interviewing
He
them.
used to be a good director.
Yeah. This movie, I was like, who hasn't seen this movie or seen parodies of this movie or reenacted
Parodies
by
of this movie?
Yeah, well, Deadpool
The
holiday
PG-13
special, whatever.
version.
Yeah, that's what it was. That whole thing was the R-rated movie, but they cut it out, so they replaced all the parts with like this wraparound of Deadpool and actually Fred Savage in a bed and so on.
He had kidnapped Fred Savage and brought him to the set of this
To
movie.
tell him the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
To suck his life out of him.
Could call it his life. Production of this movie was kind of hectic. You had a lot of things going on. Obviously, Cary Elwes wasn't very big at the time. He wasn't the first person they wanted for this. Neither was Robin Wright, but obviously they were perfect together. And apparently, there may have been some kind of romance between the two of them, which I'm not surprised because they do have great chemistry in this movie.
Can I give a take that may or may not be a hot take?
Oh, here we go.
Robin Wright looks better now than ever.
Oh,
Which person did he play?
The princess.
Robin Wright.
I'm sorry, the princes.
Robin.
The one woman in the movie, besides the one that went, boo!
Oh,
Well, that's not true.
Fair.
Carol Kane was in the film
That's
as
true.
well.
Carol Kane was in the film.
Yes, but Princess Buttercup.
The only one that wasn't covered in warts.
The titular character.
Rob Reiner had to leave the set whenever filming the stuff with Billy Crystal because he's a giggly bitch. It's just- I don't know if anyone knows Rob Reiner or anything. I don't know him personally, but
I heard at one point in that scene, Cary Elwes is replaced with a dummy because he couldn't stop laughing as well.
I
Just thinking he's
did not
supposed to
read
be
that,
a
but I
corpse
believe
on the
it.
table.
That's why this man hosts the Oscars.
But they also could have used that shortly after filming the scene where Christopher Guest has to slap him because Cary Elwes said, go for it, and he slapped the motherfucking shit out of him and shut down production for a while because he had to get stitches or something, and it was
That's
a whole
not a
thing.
slap, that's assault.
That six-finger glove's powerful.
Yeah.
Especially when he fills the six finger with quarters.
Cary Elwes got hurt a bunch of times in this film.
Yeah, and also the scene with the in the fire swamp when her dress catches on fire, that actually just happened. I think they added some scenes and whatever to make it into a whole thing, but the original shot was just she was too close, and yeah. But that's and you were talking about the Andre the Giant size, he used that to everyone else's advantage, I guess, because in some scenes where it was raining and stuff, Robin Wright was getting drenched, so he just put his hand on her head and it was like a fucking umbrella. But yeah, it's a good movie. So what do you want to guess that the budget this movie had to make?
Oh, jeez.
Let's say 50 million.
25.
What year was this?
87.
John, you go.
35.
60 million.
16.
Wow, we all overshot. Yeah, the 80s, you could make a movie cheap.
Yeah. I think
Wow.
Later 80s, I figured it'd be in the 20s.
And
but
they were better than a lot of the stuff that came after that. Wow.
yeah.
I just figured Rob Reiner, money.
All right.
sure, I guess,
know,
but
he's
yeah,
a name.
I don't know what movie you guys watched, but those sets were cheap as shit.
There were paintings. Many paintings.
Many-
Oh, they were great, but they weren't.
I mean, they had a whole Dagobah set going there,
for the fire swamp.
Was it actually Dagobah? The Dagobah set?
No.
I feel like
okay.
that was just like behind some building in the Warner Brothers studios for like the whole 80s.
That's entirely possible. Want to guess how much money this movie made?
Oof.
50 million.
Probably not a tremendous amount at the time. I don't know. Yeah, I'll go with 51 million.
45.
So this is during the box orifice time.
Yeah.
So I'll just do 65 mil again.
30 million.
Did
What?
we all overshoot again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, I think you're forgetting it's more popular now than I think
Yeah.
it was then.
Yeah.
And also, it was 87.
I remember hearing it
It's
was
not-
kind of a flop, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's somewhat debatable, but like that doesn't sound like a flop necessarily, but certainly not the cult classic that it is nowadays.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's almost a 2-for-1 return on your money. And there probably wasn't a whole lot of marketing for this.
Probably not.
By the way, DeBeatus finally ate enough candy and chocolate that he evolved into a dinosaur bucket, so.
I am liking the dinosaur bucket.
I do
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, but I feel that's DeBeatus.
It's DeBeatus now, yeah.
Well, he evolved to a new form. He has greater capacity and a harder shell.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I kind of feel like Ash when like he had to fight that really tough thing and was debating whether or not to evolve Pikachu. Like, I
You mean
miss the
Misty?
original.
Well,
Fighting
Tony,
that really tough thing.
Oh,
if it makes you
probably.
feel better, you can draw mustaches on each one of those dinosaurs.
Yeah, well,
That would be
wow.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So who's in this movie, Joe?
someone had to say it. So,
Thank you.
thank you, Joe.
You're not allowed to say it. If you're done with your stuff, you can pass it on.
Okay.
Why do I bother?
I jumped the queue
I'm just here to press buttons, guys.
and eat chips.
And eat chips that I'm not offering to anyone else at the table.
So,
So not fair.
Well, you know
I
what
have
will happen
COVID.
if you offer them to me. So
yeah.
I don't.
You saw Bric's battle station is fully operational.
Yeah, I know. I
He will
know.
destroy that bag. Either way, all right. So you
So
got,
who's in this?
You got Carrie Elwes. At the time, not very well known, but has since gone on to be in many other movies. Robin Wright, she was not even Robin Wright Penn at this point.
No,
Yeah, I think making her debut.
I believe so.
Yeah, as Princess Buttercup. You got, what's the guy's name? Is something Sarandon? Is it
Susan Sarandon.
Chris Sarandon, I think.
Chris? Yeah, as Prince Humperdinck.
Oh,
And then you have
did I not?
Christopher Guest as Count Tyrone Rugen. And then
Roog.
you got Mandy Patinkin as the baddest badass that ever badassed Indigo Montoya. You have fucking Andre the Giant as Fezzik. Wallace Shawn as Vicini. Billy Crystal as Miracle Max. Was it Gloria? What was her last name? Or the one who played Miracle Max's wife?
Carol Kane.
Carol Kane, not Gloria. And then
Gloria Estefan. as
Gloria Estefan, yeah.
Magic Max's wife. Sounds like a porno.
Yeah. And then you got friggin' what was the one I missed in here?
Another guy.
I already said Wallace Shawn. Oh, you got Fred Savage. You
Yeah, I
know,
was gonna say
fucking
some Fred Savage and Peter Falk.
as the grandson and
Savage.
Peter Falk. You got a fucking stacked cast, is what I'm
yeah.
trying to get at. Usually, I just half-ass this thing and just be like, I don't know, is the main guy and some other shit. No, this movie has like 10 awesome people in it. At
That
least.
stacks a cast.
Yeah. On a bargain, you got all that shit for $16 million and a few matte paintings. And some iocane powder.
And an imitation Dagobah set.
Yeah.
And dummies of Wallace Shawn, Inigo Montoya, and Princess
A
Buttercup.
not good quality fake rat and a not good quality fake eel.
Yeah.
Couple.
I thought the eel was pretty decent.
The heel was pretty good.
For the time it was on screen. And you know,
I mean,
I liked it all.
it was like walking with dinosaur levels of good puppet.
took an Andre the Giant punch very well.
It's a reference.
Anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, that's who's in this movie.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what the hell happens in this movie? Do we want to have Bric tell us?
Not really.
Okay.
Do you want to leave us? Like, what?
Yeah.
It really does feel like we're bothering you.
I'm not getting married tonight.
What?
I'm going to kill myself.
Oh.
That's nice.
Let's Ripple's barbecue chips.
Rob, few pairs of perfect breasts in this world.
All right.
Rob,
Shame to spoil
consider
yours.
me as an alternative to suicide.
I did.
That is the problem.
Continued on with suicide.
I think everybody at this table would make the same choice.
It really cemented the what we're doing. I got my glass on the table like a sucker, like a
Brute.
savage, like Fred Savage.
Go join the Brute
That
Squad.
beautiful Transformers coaster.
It is beautiful.
So
Joe,
we
yeah,
open
tell us
on
about
a
this movie.
sick-ass game of Nintendo baseball. Fred Savage, he's living large. He's sick. He's got the day off. He's going to stay in bed, play video games all day. Joke's on you, Fred Savage. Your mom comes in and is like, Grandpa's here. He's like, fuck! Just fuck!
And Santa just got started.
Shit! Fred Savage just unleashes a barrage of just the worst filth.
Oh, didn't you guys know Fred Savage grows up to be Tourette's guy?
And he's like, Grandpa's gonna come in here and pinch my cheeks, and that Santa Claus on the wall is fucking unacceptable. We might as well just talk about that now.
Talk about
'cause
the
it's,
Santa Claus.
it's distracting as hell.
So it looks like it was a paper Santa Claus that he made like in school or something. But it's one of those, and some of you,
If he made that in school, he is seeing a counselor.
Well,
he
not in
probably
the
made
80s.
it-
Everyone made creepy shit like
Yeah,
that.
they made you
Well,
make that
yeah.
shit.
he goes to arts and crafts school. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so some of you freaking the wills out there in the audience won't know what the hell I'm talking about. There was a time where you used to do like crafts in school,
I think they still do.
and you got these things called paper fasteners.
Oh,
They just punch through multiple sheets of paper and create a joint of sorts that you can move. Fred Savage obviously made this Santa Claus in one of those classes. It's got the old real Team America looking beard, cotton balls going on.
Well, yeah, it's just a plain white paper plate for the face.
Maybe.
One of its hands.
Well, it's how it started.
Yeah, but he obviously drew a nightmare on it.
Yes, that's
his face is unacceptable.
yeah. His face.
Think
He
about
looks.
this thing.
He looks angry.
But he's like fully posable. And
Yes.
he's got this thing hanging on his closet door.
But he's in a certain
He's in a
pose.
certain pose where his legs are like splayed out and he's got one hand firmly on his ball sack.
It's not unlike a woo Michael Jackson
it's a
kind
Santa
of move.
Jackson.
Yeah, it does a
It's-
couple of Michael Jackson-y
Yeah.
things, I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
He's
Creeping
either,
on the kid's
he's either in
closet.
full woo or hee hee.
He's definitely going for the knee.
Oh yeah, he's got his hand on the hee hee. I'll tell you that
We
much.
start with the woo. We end up with the
But
hee.
yeah, but anytime it cuts to the two, the kid and his grandpa, this Santa is like creeping in the corner.
Yeah.
All right, I got a bunch of questions right out the gate. All right, what do we think about the He-Man figures?
I wanted.
Who do we got on there? We had He-Man. We had
Beast-Man.
Beastman,
Moss
No,
Man.
it was not Beastman.
That
That
was
was,
not-
Grizzlor,
Grizzlor.
who was from the
Just
later.
re-released recently.
Oh, was-
Is he
nice.
still just a angry Tribble?
I believe it is like pretty much that exact same figure.
nice? I believe it is Leechor, or
That's, all right.
it's not Suckor, as
Yeah.
we had guessed prior.
I mean, we had to deal with things such as Stinkor
Yeah,
and Evil Lynn. So, I mean, I would not be surprised if he was named Suckor.
Stink
yeah, it's entirely possible, but I believe it is Leech something. And there was, I think, is just Spikor as well. I saw
Oh.
up there as one of my.
His name is straight up just Leech.
Oh, it is just Leech.
If I
Okay.
remember right,
I-
that figure, you placed him on a wall and then pushed something on his back
Correct.
to activate
Or the
his
back of his
suction.
head or something. Yeah.
And he would just suck to the wall.
And he is currently $21.97 at Walmart.
Dag, yo.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that ancient bag of Cheetos?
Pretty good.
pretty good.
Well, I mean, you
I mean, I
like
like
that
the-
graphic style?
The bag was not ancient. It's just an old, like...
Yeah.
The bag is
Old
kind of
looking.
ancient, I think.
It probably was.
Because like it's in a kid's room and it's open and shit. Like those are stale
Cheetos.
as
That shit
fuck.
comes stale.
That's true.
It
That
goes
is
downhill
true.
from there.
Did you notice the orange powder around Santa's lap?
Oh, no.
All right. So anyway,
It's
he's
from hands.
kid's room's pretty badass. He's like, Grandpa's gonna pinch my cheek. Mom's like, maybe he won't do it. Grandpa just bursts through the door like
He's like,
Kool-Aid Man.
give me some cheeks,
Give me them
bitch."
cheeks.
Give me them cheeks.
Just grabs it,
Freddy
like,
Krueger
jiggles the shit out of his face.
claps his cheeks.
Oh
And
boy.
he's like, here, I got a present for you. This fucking ancient tome by S. Morgenstern.
Yeah.
And, Fred Savage is like, that's great. Grandpa, please go. And he's like, nope, you got me all day. I'm retired, son. I got nowhere else to go.
He's kind of being a shit kid. I mean, I get it. He's a kid in the 80s. He's like,
Books are for lesbians. I have
What-
Nintendo.
not how, basically what I was going to say, but not how I was going to phrase it.
Who's quoting the film?
I don't think
Not quite. But yeah, it's like, it's a book. We got video games now, Grandpa. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
this
But yeah, like you said, Grandpa's like,
baseball game.
I got a while, and the next train doesn't come for a couple hours, so
This will distract me from missing your grandmother.
Out of curiosity, have any of you read The Princess Bride, the book?
No.
I have.
I may
William
have
Goldman?
back when I was a lesbian.
Yeah.
You were a lesbian for a
Still
good
are.
stretch of years.
What is happening with you?
When I worked at the lesbiary.
Oh, shit, he's got his words mixed again.
Where's Andre the Giant to jog your memory?
Forgot what I was going to say. Oh, so the book is actually about, like, the author, William Goldman, excited about reading this fake book called The Princess Bride, written by S. Morgenstern. The book is not real. It's him talking about the book to his child. And he was super excited about reading it to his kid, and his kid was like, this book sucks. And then he realized the book does kind of suck, so he wanted to make, like, a better version of it. And it's a weird, like, book within a book inception kind of thing.
You could
Interesting.
call
But
it
I do recommend it.
erotic fanfic.
Nope.
Could.
I mean, you could. You'd be wrong. But
Well, you could,
like,
though.
you could call anything that.
Yeah, you could
in
call
theory.
that bag of chips in your hands erotic fanfic.
That
No, it is erotic.
Yeah.
Dropping Christmas presents all over the place.
Dear listeners, be glad you cannot see what's going on under the table with that bag.
That's right. I emptied it and
right.
refilled it.
So we now begin the story. Like, we go into the movie within the movie, and we meet the Aryan Wunder couple of Buttercup, and at this point we only know him as Farm Boy. They are very blonde and very beautiful, and she gets off on just abusing the Farm Boy, making him do a bunch of stuff.
Like you do.
He gets off on being abused by her. All he says is, as you wish. She's like, oh my God, I love this man.
I mean,
And then-
it's not that abusive. It's like, pick up my... You're an idiot.
Well, no,
Pick up
she's
my
just
cup.
being
It's
like,
flirty.
well, it's not always flirty, but like it starts out with her being kind of spoiled shit,
Yeah.
and him being helping hand. That's like that's what you do.
No, he loved her right from the start.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, he might have loved her from starter.
She was
I
being a
don't know,
bitch, but
but
he was just like,
yes,
One of the
John,
first
didn't
lines.
we learn about that word today?
One of the first lines describing her says her favorite thing in the world was tormenting her farm boy.
yeah. Which
Tormenting his dick.
Not yet,
No.
but you will get.
But yeah, but she's just spoiled, and he's just the help. So she's like, whatever, do a thing for me, and he's like, yeah.
he makes such
as you
eyes
wish.
at her.
Yeah.
Young.
She just like.
You got to get the toxic ones out of the way when you're young.
So she's just like, oh my God. And then she makes him like get a picture for her that's like right by her. And he's like, as you wish.
Oh yeah, he knows at that point she was like just looking for anything for him to do. So he's like, Oh yeah.
Smash
I'm in.
cut right to the sunset. They're making out.
She needs that picture to come into.
Wow.
And yeah,
Watch out, she's a squirter.
they're all over each
One of
other.
these buttons mutes your mic.
Do not hit those buttons.
He shouldn't be allowed to.
No, you're gonna make him talk with like auto tune or whatever, saying the worst stuff.
We should do it.
That still would be better than what we got now.
All right. So anyway, he's like, I need money to marry you. I'm gonna go leave to make my fortune.
Which is ridiculous because they have a perfectly good farm.
Yeah. And then she's like, okay, well, don't die or anything.
They don't have a perfect.
Don't
life.
worry, I won't. This is true love. Nothing can stop true love. In this world, in this fairy tale, that works. Normally, I would be like, fuck that.
It's still more reasonable than Twilight.
Yeah, but in this particular story, I'm like, goddamn true love. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, then
Still seem to be a world where true love actually can, survive all this crap.
It's a fairy tale book.
Yeah.
So he goes off and immediately gets attacked by Dread Pirate Roberts.
All right.
Fred Savage is like, good.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Hope he dies. Horribly.
And we see now that she's become Princess Buttercup because Prince Humperdinck, one of the nice things about being a prince, you can marry whoever the fuck you want. You're just like, I see that girl, bam, marry her. Done. I don't even know if she has to be like single. Like,
Probably not.
Yeah.
Diseases? Whatever. I'll worry about that later.
Prima nocta, motherfucker.
Well, also, particularly
knocked
with
up.
this particular prince, he would have just been like, "Oh, she's married. Oh, that's cool. Can I meet him?" Stab. All right, you're single now.
Now she's a widow.
Yeah, cool.
so the book goes into this a little more, but there's more of her, like after Wesley disappears and her being found by Count Rugen.
Okay, because
And-
I was gonna say
Yeah.
this seems like something's there was a serious leap in what we see.
There's two
Was she
big parts
found-
in this book.
Was she found in the farm, abandoned, still waiting for someone to feed her?
No.
Because she can't do anything by herself.
Wow.
No, but Count Rugen
Views and opinions.
was drawn because of her suffering, and that's his thing. Like he's a scientist who studies suffering and pain.
Also
And-
known as a sadist.
The sadist, yeah, but he's a sadistic scientist, and he's writing.
Is that what we call sadoscience?
Sadoscience? Yeah.
Same difference.
That was good. That was actually very
So
clever. I like that.
yeah, he came over and was like, "Yo, this suffering lady also happens to be the hottest fucking woman around. Humperdinck, hit that shit."
Humperdinck.
Yeah, Humperdinck's done.
Hit that shit trigger.
Yeah. Drag her off to the palace. Boom. She's going to marry Humperdinck. Humperdinck's like, bam, that's my princess. Check her out. Everyone was like, God fucking damn it. She's so hot. I love you, Humperdinck, because you brought her to the court. And
Only a
Humperdinck's
model.
like, all right, yo, lady, we're going to get married. Go ride a horse. So she does. What's
Just
up?
quick side note. I think because we're here now, where he's introducing her to the common people. I have never noticed before the king. He is now my favorite character. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you noticed him in this scene, but he's just
Doing all kinds of stuff.
yeah, he's just wilding out like a little old man, like just he's having a great time out in the corner.
He's completely senile.
Oh yeah,
He
that's
is,
fine.
He's somewhere else during this
Yeah.
whole ceremony.
He's channeling the Trevor character I played for one of our things pretty well. I like that.
So she goes off and rides her horse. That's like, she can't bother Wesley anymore, so horseback's riding all she has to amuse her. And she
The
runs
only way
into...
she can move around is the horse moves her for her. Just determines where she's going that day.
So she runs into this trio of motley gentlemen. You got a fucking Wallace Shawn, bald-headed little like gnomish guy going all like, eh. You got Indigo Montoya just fucking radiating testosterone, just like, I am the sexy Spaniard. And then you have fucking Andre the Giant just like, I am going to grab you and turn you off with my hand.
Yeah.
Sounded more like...
That was Arnold. But
That's what I do.
either way,
Turn you off with my hand.
he's
Get
got the
you.
bad touch.
Get you.
Nope.
No. No.
That's what Rob does.
No, he turns.
Well, he
people
gets
off.
you, and then he turns you off.
Yeah, never mind. Okay.
What are you talking about?
Saying you get people off with your hand.
He was talking about last
Never mind.
night,
Oh,
apparently.
you're saying I jerk people off.
No, he's terrible at
Let's
it.
move on.
I really am.
It's
Oh, God. The blood.
yeah, it's not. It's not good. So
Heaven help you if you're not circumcised.
so you got this fucking legendary trio
You
here.
will be. You will be.
Vicini, after they knock the princess out and abduct her, Vicini's just yelling at everyone. He's like, Fezzik, you're shit. I found you on Greenland. I'll leave you there. You know, Indigo Montoya, no one gives a fuck about you. Put this lady in the boat. Let's get out of here. And
Prince should have married him. They would have been perfect together.
so, Fezzik, his whole thing, he's very down right now. His feelings are hurt. So, Inigo likes to cheer him up by doing a little rhyme game. So they start like dropping some bars here. And Wall Sean's all like, no more rhyming. I mean it. Everybody got a
Peanut? Anybody want a peanut?
And he's just like, ah. So anyway, cutesy. We find out now the boat is being chased by this other guy, and all three of them stop paying attention to Princess and look at the boat. Princess Buttercup's like, I'm out of here. Jumps into the water. Fucking, but the water is filled with some spooky eels, shrieking eels,
Shrieking eels.
shrieking spooky eels. Fred Savage is now, we see he's starting to get a little invested in the stories. Grandpa's like, are you okay? I know this is a little scary. And he's like, shut up, Grandpa. Go back to where you
They're
were.
just puppets. Shut up.
Yeah.
But I did like these puppets. They were
Yeah.
they were
They're
pretty good.
pretty good. What was the last puppet eel we saw? Was it a Conan film?
Red Sonja had the mechanical eel.
Sonia, there you go.
That was
It's more of
a pretty good puppet.
like a bass, maybe.
I don't know. It was a fish
It was
monster.
a fish lizard.
Yeah.
This is a
It had
tangent,
legs.
but it was very interesting. I met a man today who raised a ball python until it was 12 feet long.
Not
and, like,
possible.
I don't know what it was. It was a python of some sort,
Okay, not a ball python.
not a ball python. Burmese python?
Possibly, yes.
Okay. It was like 6 inches in diameter, and you would take it to the beach in Milford and then ride it in the water.
I don't think
That's just
you
cool.
can do that.
I think you met a drunk who lied to you.
Well, he delivered my bed, and he wasn't drunk.
I
Yeah,
stick with my story.
Yeah, the snake would not really cooperate with that. He might have took it in the water and stuck it between his legs. That's about as far as it
Just
was.
an anaconda right out of the trousers.
Yeah, like
Who hasn't done that before?
He apparently also kept 2 alligators, but that was another story.
that's a little more realistic. You could ride an alligator potentially.
Right.
See, capybaras do that all the time.
Ah.
John, if you wrapped a snake of sufficient mass around you and just jumped in the water, could you use it as a flotation device? If it was cooperating with staying around you?
Snakes are no more buoyant than you are, so
I don't know, because you see them, is it because they're squiggling about that they can swim very well?
Well, I mean, if you just jump in the water,
Yeah,
you don't
play dead,
immediately
you float.
sink.
I do.
Well,
Very heavy.
Yeah, you're very dense.
Very dense.
It's just your head, though.
But no, it would not help you
Drags the rest of me down.
remain afloat.
Okay. Anyway,
It's a shame.
so this eel's about to maul her. Andre the Giant fucking punches it right in its dumb head. And
He just grabs her
yeah, fucking yoinks her
like
in
a
the boat.
fucking baby kitten.
Might as well be.
It was hypothesized that she just had a handle installed on the back of her dress, the way people were just flinging her around this movie.
Well, yeah, we breezed past it, but she also just has an off switch in the back of her head. Too.
Well, that was like a Vulcan neck pinch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
I think if Andre the Giant squeezed you on the back of neck hard enough, you'd probably pass out
I mean,
too.
just doing that, he's getting your carotid artery.
Before his hands were brittle like glass.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You know what? You get Andre the Giant here and you let him try. I guarantee I'll be all right.
All right, so they reach the Cliffs of Insanity,
Sorry.
which
Gonna rest
on
his giant corpse on top of you.
on the far shot, the Cliffs of Insanity are actually the Cliffs of Dover, which is a sick-ass guitar song by Eric Johnson.
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
Up close, they're a matte painting.
up close, yeah, they are a map painting. So they got to climb a rope now. The plan is you got Fezzik, who's fucking strong, and you got 3 other people hanging off of him on this harness that they made. And Fezzik's supposed to get him up there real fast.
3 dolls.
Well,
Yeah, so
3 balloons with wigs on them.
by
let's
this
be
point
honest.
in Andre the Giant's life, this was very close to the end of it. He
Rob
couldn't
Reiner
lift
himself.
anything.
Oh, well, first of all, he was never lifting them at any point, and that was not him climbing at any point
No.
either. But I do not understand the logic behind it. Like, Wallace Shawn seems like a sleazy dude, so I get him being like, Giant, carry me. But, like, why Inigo Montoya?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if Andre Giant's offering to carry you,
He's
know,
not offered. I don't think he ever offered. He's told.
was the
Probably for
mule.
counterbalance.
Yeah,
I think it was more supposed to be that this climb was approaching superhuman ability to be able to climb up a rope, which it would be.
Yeah.
By how.
Fair.
And that's why it was so shocking that the Man in Black
Could do it as
is
well.
able to
All
do
right.
it as well.
so
That makes sense. Yeah, I'll give you that.
one of the famous Princess Bride story here, Wallace Shawn was absolutely cripplingly afraid of heights and was so afraid of ruining this shot. Like, he couldn't even be like a couple inches off the ground like they were on the set. So Andre the Giant just grabbed his head and he was like, I will take care of you. And he was like, you do not have to worry. And then Wallace Shawn was fine after that.
That's because he was asleep.
I would take care of you like a little baby.
Indeed. So, yeah, they have to chase up the rope. They get to the top. Vizzini here is an asshole. He's like, I'll just go cut the rope, drop this dude. But, you know, true love's power in this motherfucker. He can't be defeated by just cutting the rope. He's a hero. Falls don't.
Yeah,
fuck
it's
with
not going to
him.
be that easy.
Yeah. So he's climbing up the side. Vizzini's like, inconceivable, which he said like 20 times by this point. I think this is the point where Inigo asks him, like, I do not think that word means what do you think it means. And
Another banger.
and
He
then
leaves Inigo behind to take care of this
Yeah.
dude. And he's like, we're going to go on ahead.
and
Do your thing.
yeah, he leaves Inigo to finish him off. And we get basically just one of the greatest scenes ever put to film. Like, Inigo's like, hey, hurry up. You're I don't want to wait. And he's like, well, throw me a rope. He's like, well, I'm going to kill you when you get up here. So Man in Black's like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to, listen to you then.
Well, no, it's more, he's saying, like, can you hurry up? And he's like, well, it'd be a lot faster if the rope was still here. He's like, well, I can throw it down you. And he's like, how do I don't have no reason to trust you. And he's like,
Yeah.
I swear to you, I will not kill you till you get up here, but fucking get up here now.
I like the line where he's like, I am only waiting to kill you when you get to the top. And he's like, that does put a damper on our relationship. And then finally, he offers to swear as his word as a Spaniard, which isn't any good.
I've known too many Spaniards.
Finally, he swears on the soul of his father, Domingo Montoya, that he will reach the top alive. And Wesley's like, throw me the rope. But at this point, we're still referring to him as the man in black, but it's clear to everyone he's fucking Wesley.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like that's
Clark
a
Kent.
deep plot twist that the thing's hiding
A
from you.
bandito mask and a little,
Yeah.
mustache is not going to, hide that.
So
That beautiful, beautiful face.
Inigo's like so confident in his ability to kill this dude. He gives him like all the sporting chances in the world. He's like, take a break, get the rocks out of your boot, check out my sword. It's really awesome. I'll let you hold it. Let me tell you about my dad. This guy, this six-fingered man killed my dad over this sword. And I like that Count Rugen, who we find out later is the six-fingered man, you know, he wanted to pay less for the sword. His dad was like, no, so he killed his dad. He didn't even take the sword. Like, that didn't mean anything to him. He was just like, fuck, whatever. Kill you. Gives Inigo the 2 scars when Inigo tries to avenge his father, and just leaves him there. Because Count Rugen's just a mean dude.
Piece of shit.
Count Rudin.
Count Rudin, yeah. Tyrone.
Straight up sociopath, basically.
Yeah. So Inigo's like, I will find that man, and I will say to him, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. And, like, the music is swelling, and, like, the wind's blowing through his hair, and you're just like, oh, man, when he gets his revenge.
And
now,
man, we're going to print so many T-shirts with that line on it.
Mm-hmm. All right, now, swashbuckling in and of itself is not, like, my favorite mode of fighting to watch.
Gun fu is, right?
Gun kata, specifically. Almost as good as Jim kata. Or jump kata, I'm sorry. Either way. This is just one of the greatest sword fights put to film as far as swashbuckling goes. It's not the most realistic thing in the world. It's silly as all get out. But it is a goddamn well choreographed fight. And they fucking throw down. They do the whole, I'm not left-handed. I'm not left-handed either. Cut your mustache off. They're swinging on like vines and uneven bars and all that. They're, by the end, basically, you know, despite all of the skill that Inigo has, because he's been practicing sword play for 20 years to avenge his father, it means nothing against the Man in Black's unstoppable quest to find his true love. And he disarms Inigo and knocks him out. He can't bring himself to kill him because he's just too good of a piece of art.
Yeah.
And he runs off. So now Vizzini sees that and he's like, fuck. All right.
How can I screw this up further?
Yeah. So Fezzik, kill him your way. Fezzik's like, what is my way? And he's like, pick up a rock. When he comes around the corner, hit him in the head with the rock. And, you know,
My way's not very sportsmanlike.
so Fezzik decides, you know, he doesn't like just murdering him with a rock. So he throws a rock close to him, which fucking explodes when it hits the boulder behind him. And he's like, I didn't have to miss. And Man in Black's like, I believe you. So ultimately he's like, put down the sword, I'll put down the rock, and we'll just fight it out. The old Duke
I'll just kill you with my hands.
We'll settle
Like
this.
an honorable man.
Yeah, we'll settle this honorably.
Yeah, and he
Hand-to-hand combat.
he's like, I think the odds are slightly in your favor. He's like, it's not my fault I'm so big.
I don't even work out.
You know, so fucking 7'4", 500-something-pound Andre the Giant is going up against like a maybe 170-pound Carrie Elwes.
Well, this is where I will say there's, again, you know, real world scenarios, some things can't be helped, but it actually is in Carrie Elwes' favor because Andre's moving
Cannot move.
real slow.
Well, again, I think the character of Fezzik is supposed to be.
Yes. Well, this is the thing of like, yeah. Well, this is the difference between, you know, like at the time, there's only so much the actor could actually do and so on. And we didn't have any means to try and fake the funk here, basically. But it is a little sad because, like, it is so obvious he's, like, taking the widest swings.
So, interesting fact, William Goldman, when he wrote the book, he then pretty much immediately turned around and made a movie screenplay. And as he was writing the book, he's like, the only person I can picture playing Fezzik is Andre the Giant. And that was the one, like, he knew right when the beginning, when they're like, we're making a movie out of this, like, that's the one they knew they had cast right away. They had to get
Until
him.
he heard him speak. And then he was like, Okay.
We'll
Well,
just
at that point,
cross a few of these lines out.
yeah, I mean, in '87, Andre the Giant was a household name. Like wrestling
yeah. Oh,
was
yeah.
way more popular than it is today, and
That's because it was real back then.
well,
Oh yeah.
people thought some people believed it was real back then.
Some people still believe it's real now, but less said about that, the better.
Like Fred Durst, a Limp Bizkit fan.
So,
But I do feel like that was probably the original script had like a lot more of those moments of him rhyming, and then it was
book
just
did,
like,
yeah.
I'm just gonna cut a lot of that out.
So, yeah, in the book, basically, whenever Fezzik was, Fezzik's thing was being huge, he, of course, had a low intellect, because that's just how that always works in these stories. And
in real
whenever,
life.
whenever that was stressing him out, Inigo would calm him down with rhymes. So that was a reoccurring thing in the book. But either way, they fight it out. Fezzik is obviously stronger, but he's slow as all get out. And eventually, the man in black gets on his back, chokes him out, and wishes him well in sweet dreams of many large women.
As sleep apnea takes over.
Oh,
And they run off. Well, he runs off after after
Andre is
Vicini.
not getting-
Andre's going nowhere.
He's not running anywhere away or asleep.
Yeah. At best, he can fall down a hill. So we meet Vizzini, who has now set up like a whole fucking picnic. Like he's got like rock he's turned into a table and chairs.
just
And,
cast the instant picnic spell.
yeah. Well, he knows, he's like, I'm not outrunning goddamn Carrie Elwes. I'm not beating him in a sword fight. So the only thing I could do is cower behind the hostage.
And annoy him to death.
So the man in black is like, check this out. Let's have a battle of wits, because you think you're so smart. I think I could take you in a battle of wits. So I got this iocane powder. Sniff that, but don't inhale.
Also, it doesn't have any smell.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell the point of this is. I guess, but
How do you
or I guess-
sniff but
Oh wait,
not inhale?
no, he said inhale, but don't
don't touch.
Don't
Okay,
touch. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the idea was to let ensure him that it doesn't have a smell, so you can't.
Yeah, it was to
Sense it in
illustrate
the
that it
thing,
doesn't
but-
have a smell or a taste.
Yeah.
So iocane powder, you can't notice what it's put into. He allegedly poisons one of the goblets of wine.
Although, honestly, better way to solve this is like, here, sniff this. Now give it a taste.
Yeah.
I won. Like,
Your taste.
Yeah.
but
So either way, he wants to beat the smart guy at the Battle of Wits. So basically, Vicini gets to pick one of the goblets to drink from, and the man in black has to drink from the other. And, that's it. Like, you see what happens at that point. So Vicini just goes on the greatest distraction campaign here. He is just set to ramble, and he's running out of air. He's turning as red as Buttercup's dress, just yelling about God knows what. He finally does though. What could that be? And Man in Black turns around. He switches the goblets.
Which he doesn't need to do because
Yeah.
no matter what, like he got to pick which one he wanted to drink.
yeah, again, I imagine that's just so once he drinks it,
Yeah.
he could be like, haha, you
wanted
thought
to
you won,
gloat,
but you
yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just want,
Just for that moment.
So, pop quiz, John. Don't look at my notes. What are the two classic blunders that he said that he committed one of the two classic blunders?
Oh shit. Never engage in a land war in Russia.
In Asia.
Asia.
Yeah.
Or Russia.
Yep. Or Russia.
Eurasia. And never engage in a battle of wits with a Sicilian when death is on the line.
Gold Star. So Wallace Shawn is laughing about those two classic blunders, and then he just dies. And you're like, good.
It occurs to me, for being such a supposed smart guy, he never asked a very important question of why the hell do you have a very specific poison on you?
He's a pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that seems a little sus.
The scene-
Well, pirates are sus.
He
Yes.
had a ninja costume and a mask. What?
Also,
what else do you
Vicini,
want?
while being an intellectual, he is not a smart man.
No.
He just knows a lot of fancy words.
Maybe that's the thing behind the most intelligent man in the world doing a really stupid thing. He knows a lot of things. He's not.
He has a
very
very
wise.
high IQ, but not a lot of common sense.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
But
Yeah, it does.
But that also, and this is the answer, which is he poisoned both cups, so it didn't matter. Although I was kind of like, I guess the idea is he built up an immunity
To iocane powder, yep.
to the powder,
real
but it's
Batman
like
shit.
you could also just not actually fucking drink that shit.
Yeah.
Close your mouth and go like, oh yeah, it's really good.
that would be dishonest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's not do that
So-
now.
All right, he's won. He's got Princess Buttercup. But he's like fucking being a little petty here because he thinks that Buttercup just immediately after she thought he was dead went off and was like, I'll go marry the prince. Like, that's just a thing you do. Like, I can't have Wesley, so I'll go marry the prince. So he's got to test her. He talks shit to her for a while.
Yeah, their love was about as shallow as you could actually make it. So, yeah, him being a little petty about it makes sense.
Well, I suppose, from his point of view, I mean, it's still kind of fucked up because he's going for, I believe they said 5 years,
Yeah.
right? So, but from his point of view, she just, he has no idea what she's been through or that she spent the whole time crying. So he just assumes she was like, oh, I guess he's gone. Let me go find somebody rich.
So he does not
They're
believe.
just both
When your
terrible
feelings
people
are
for
hurt.
different reasons.
So
When your feelings are hurt by a loved one, things can get petty.
So, she basically is just like, I died the day that Wesley went away, and
I was frozen today.
and basically demonstrates to him that she still loves Wesley.
Sure,
About but the thing though, even though she loves him, she doesn't really talk to him very much because the only thing that really gives him away is when she pushes him down a fucking hill, and he yells, "As you wish." So she's like, I know, I'll fall down the hill too.
Yeah. Who was
They're
that?
both stupid.
Oh, that was me.
people
I
in
just
different
ripped one.
ways.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
So
Hey, that lucid dinosaur.
yeah, they fall down the
That
hill.
looks like a tongue, Rob.
Rob is eating a red airhead. So they fall down the hill. They're reunited. His mask falls off. You can see it's Wesley. We could call him Wesley now. Hooray.
Hit him with a rock.
Humperdinck
Sorry.
shows up and with his, he's got Count Rugen with him and some guards. And they're like, let's get those fools. So
They fall down a hill and become
yeah,
invisible.
with
that
the
was-
horses.
That was what distracted Wesley. He looked away, and Buttercup pushed him down the hill.
So,
It's the fog of war that caused them to become invisible. They were outside of the rendering distance. So
well, she pushed him out of the draw
yeah,
distance.
yeah.
I believe the idea is they, because they were on the other side of mountains, so they couldn't see them anymore. But, did no one notice that they just went woo?
Well, either way, they knew they were going towards the fire swamps, but they're like, we ain't going in there.
Well, yeah, I guess.
And also, Humperdinck being a good tracker was just like, I know the other way out of the fire swamps. I'll just go there. Or they die in the fire swamps and I win.
Yeah, I'm not
We
going
also
in there.
find out Humperdinck wants her to die.
Well, it
He
was
hired Vincini.
a very specific time, I think.
Yeah,
he
he
had
wanted- He wanted her
strategy.
body to be found.
Yeah.
And because he wants to start a
He wants to
war.
start a
Gilder.
war with Gilder. Yeah.
He wants to
They're
start a
from
war
Florida.
with the people's support,
Yeah.
presumably so he can have them go fight his war for
Yeah, I
him.
think
Yeah.
he wants to conquer Gilder.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
he can rule both kingdoms.
Yeah, it's conquering another kingdom, but looking like the good guy when you
Also,
do it.
I think he needs to be married to be a king. And then, doesn't matter if she dies right away.
Right.
I don't think that's how kingness works.
In Florin, that's how it works.
In Florida?
Florin.
Oh, okay, because I was like, Florida does not have rules.
Probably has a king somewhere in it.
Yeah,
There's probably more than one person that calls themselves
It
the
might
king
be
of Florin.
required that he has a wife to assume kingship,
Yeah.
so that there's it's secure that he's going to create
Air.
an heir. Yeah.
See, that would be an interesting angle to explore with this movie of is there a rival person who's like, no, I could also be king? And then they're just both racing to figure out who gets to bang somebody first.
If he had a brother or a cousin.
Exactly, yeah. Or I mean, even if it's not an heir, an heirloom kind of thing if it's not an inherited title. Because otherwise he would just be king.
Tired to shut your mic
Yeah.
off.
All of this is weird anyway, because like the king and the queen are both still alive. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
So,
whatever.
all right, they run into the fire swamps. And a funny story here, this is very early on in the shooting of the movie. Andre the Giant, who's not in this scene, he couldn't really walk around. So he had a like a tricycle scooter thing, like a moped, but it was a 3-wheeler. And he rode it to these hills. And he wanted Carrie Elwes to give it a try. But the bike is made for a man of Andre the Giant's size. So Carrie Elwes is trying to operate the clutch to get it in gear, jams his foot in there and breaks at least one of his toes. Gets it stuck in the clutch of the motorcycle.
So
and
that's
like
how they recorded the scream that he does later.
so it's very early on in the film. He's already like hurt his foot, and like they're gonna have to move the fight scene back and all that. And like he's so afraid to tell Rob Reiner. And Rob Reiner was like, "That's fine. You're fucking injured." Like,
Yeah, he got injured a lot.
yeah.
And Viggo Mortensen's like, hold my beer.
But you can see as they're running through the fire swamps, Wesley has a very pronounced limp. So they're in the fire swamps, and this is like everything the 80s taught us to fear. You're walking along, suddenly there's just random popping, and a gout of fire comes
You
out of
just
the
had
ground.
a gout of fire come out of you. Or was that John?
Lit John's dress on fire.
No, that was it was all him.
Gave me
Those random
gout.
popping sounds were that was all him.
That's definitely Joe.
So we learned that he is the great Pirate Roberts, but not the original. Or I'm sorry, the Dread Pirate Roberts, but not the original Dread Pirate Roberts.
He's the standalone complex giant, Jolly Roger Roberts.
There's turns out the person that made him the Dread Pirate Robert was also not the original Dread Pirate Robert. It's just a brand that they pass around.
Yeah.
Like the Phantom.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly
Batman.
like the Phantom.
Yeah, except they with a much cooler suit.
And down in the Caribbean, they actually have a chain restaurant.
So, yeah, basically he's going to retire now and pass on the mantle to someone else now that he has Buttercup. But that's interrupted because the quickest quicksand in the world, the lightning sand.
Lightning
Yeah.
sand.
Quicksand is not fast enough.
Nope.
Buttercup's just gone. She's just,
It's extreme.
yeah.
When the bomb
It's
drops
like
out.
when someone pulls all the pegs out of thin ice, like the marbles are just gone. Like,
I mean, it's pretty much, like me halfway through a Taco Bell meal.
Oh, no.
I still have like chalupa in my mouth, and I'm like, okay, guess we're finishing this in there.
also the ROUSs
yes.
are watching.
Yes.
Rob devours his fourth meal. So, yeah, Carrie Elwes grabs a vine. Wesley, he grabs a vine, jumps into the lightning sand, pulls her out.
I mean, at that point, I'm pretty much using the bidet to clean myself.
Okay.
So you're having basically like
That's what it's for.
you're having
Yeah,
a battle
no, that's
stream
not
for
what I mean.
stream with the bidet.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
main battle with the bidet.
It really
Don't
is.
cross the stream.
It's like I'm just trying to beat it back, like
It's a big brown waterfall. All right, let's move on.
The toilet
competing
is the
power
loser
beams.
here. So, yeah,
Bog of eternal
you see
stank.
the jankiest looking giant rat here
Trying to
is like watching him come out of the bog.
Like this is a mix of stuffed animals, puppets, and at certain points there's a lot of them that are just like dudes in really shitty suits.
Yeah, it's just poor people.
Oh no, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen,
The ROUSs are pretty great, as terrible looking as they are.
they are awful looking.
So,
I like that they have an acronym.
Anything can have an acronym.
Wesley,
But not everything does.
he clearly sees the ROUS. He's looking at it, and he's just like, well, Buttercup will freak out too much if she knows about it. So I'm just going to pretend it's not there. And like 10 seconds later, someone just tosses a giant furry pillow on Carrie Elwes. It's like, "Rrrr."
That was a dude. A dude
I mean-
jumped out onto him.
Yeah.
in a rat suit.
Yeah.
I think that
yeah,
one might have been
Willow,
a dude.
yeah.
Tackles Carrie Elwes down. So now he's tussling with the RUS, rodent of unusual size.
The ruse.
And, Princess Buttercup, let's just say the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s are a long way away. She has no agency in this fight. She's like,
She fucking
I'm
sucks.
going to get a stick and maybe poke him with it, but not
She
even
was,
like a sharp stick.
stabbing the ground in front of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, what did you want her to do? Like, she obviously
anything.
Hand him his sword.
She
Yeah,
obviously had like a snooty upbringing.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't know how to fight.
I mean,
She's
or
not,
stand on
yeah,
her own.
Not
probably not. Like she probably never had to.
But like I'm not.
And even when she was
Yeah.
sent out to do her chores, she passed them along to this.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I know.
It works in the context of this movie's
I mean, we
fairy
could
tale
argue-
background.
Yeah, I mean,
And if this
we
movie
can't
was
be
made
blaming
today,
it on the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Just
and if this movie was made today, she would do like 3 flips. And stop this
yeah,
thing.
she
Yeah.
would have beat Inigo Montoya in the sword fight
Yeah.
to save Wesley from.
Yeah,
the
and
cut
out
off the
wrestled
heads of
Andre
all the
the
rabbits.
Giant.
Yeah. But I'm glad we're not going there. But it is like, yeah, she can't even like hand him his sword.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, she's basically like one of
you
those
know.
anime girl pillows. There's just nothing there. She's
I
just
it's
Well,
not,
Wesley's
it's not
waifu.
entirely wrong.
yeah,
It's the
Yeah.
same
yeah, it's
exact-
Wesley's waifu.
It's the same exact problem I had with Tim in Jurassic Park, and I've mentioned this while we were watching the film. He just stands there doing nothing.
Yes.
But some people just don't
Yeah.
keep their calm in any kind
That's
of
what
That is true.
some people do. They just
They
freeze
just
up.
lose their
That
shit.
is
I
true.
mean, in reality, I probably would just totally freeze up if the biggest rat in the world freaking tackled John. I would also, if it was John, I would just assume John's going to kill it. So
I mean,
Yeah, no, that bothered me. That he's this Dread Pirate Roberts adventurer. He's fucking awesome with this sword. Yeah, he doesn't have a belt knife.
Yeah.
Like
boot knife, belt knife.
yeah, some other
He also
backup
just
weapon.
Didn't bring any rope. What the fuck's wrong with this
That's
guy?
Count Rugen's special power.
He does
But-
have poison, though. You could have
does
fed
have
that to the
poison.
rat.
But yeah, you also got to remember again, she did lead a pampered life. This is time period. I don't know,
Yeah.
but she probably doesn't have much of an
If
education.
it was
She-
just this scene
she
where
just
she was
went-
useless, I'd be okay
she
with
just went through lightning sand and shit. Like she's having a rough time.
it. Sure.
So-
but again, if it was just this scene or even just the whole Fire Swamp expedition, I'd be okay with it. But she's a waifu the whole time. And
That's her
that is
choice,
a good
isn't it?
point, though. People freezing up because when friends of mine rolled a tree off of a cliff onto my head, I did actually stand there trying to figure out what I should do, and it just hit me in the head.
That explains pretty much everything. I do.
All right.
Some ladies and men just aren't ladies or men of action.
Yeah.
They would just hang back and
Yeah, but,
So
yeah.
But anyway,
either way, this thing bites the shit out of Wesley. Wesley then rolls onto the popping fire fart that comes out of the swamp, burns the shit out of this thing. Then
Wolfie Burdens.
gets up, gets his rapier, and just gives this thing a good liberal stabbing. And it dies. And I guess all the other RUS were just like, oh, all right, well, we won't mess with him.
yeah. Well,
So they make it out of the fire swamps. And Humperdinck is just like right there with the cock block. They're about to kiss. They're like, we're free. We're going to make it. He's just like, oh, hell no. Comes
my
by,
watch.
tells them to surrender. Wesley's like, I'll fucking kill you. I just fought a rat in lightning sand. I don't
just
give a
fought a
damn
rat.
about
I'm
your
bleeding from all of my loins.
Humperdinkin' ass. And there's like crossbowmen everywhere. Buttercup notices that. And so she's like, all right, we surrender, but you can't hurt him. You have to let him go back to his ship. She's just like, he came for me once, he'll come for me again. No problem.
The princess breathed so loud we could have shot her in the dark.
So Humperdinck's just like, all right, cool, yeah. Yoink, just picks her up off the ground from her invisible handle, rides off. Count Rugen is
She's
like,
a pillow, I'm telling
yeah.
you.
She might be.
Count Rugen was just like, yeah, that was lies. We're
yeah.
going to take you to the pit of despair.
She can't even negotiate well.
And he's like, yo, you got 6 fingers on your
Naive.
right hand. And he's like, oh shit, and just knocks him unconscious.
No, we don't.
There are 4 fingers.
So Yeah, we now go to the Pit of Despair, where we meet the albino and the machine.
And where I am 5 days a week.
The machine coming to
You need
theaters
that
near
thing to clean
you.
now?
No, it just sucks years off my life. Every
Rob
time
is
I
actually
interact.
giving a 500-yard stare right now, and I'm concerned he might.
You
go
did-
into
Oh,
some
his
kind of
metabolism
flashback.
is long since failed. He's just,
yeah.
he's breaking down
He
right
did,
now.
however, hire a large Robbie Coltrane-esque albino
I
to
did.
clean him on a regular basis.
Well, that's it. He wants Wesley at full health before he starts torturing him. So the albino's like,
full health and full mass.
yeah, no one's gonna find you. Let's get you healthy. Let's get you erect.
And
and let's get you dead.
let's prolapse our rectum.
We got a machine for that. And then it cuts.
They actually did. It was a sucking machine.
It was a sucking machine. It had nipple parts and everything.
Your
Like
prolapses erection.
Like sitting on the pool filter.
So
Oh, that takes me back.
now it just cuts ahead, and it's like the king dies. Humperdinck's the king now. He marries Buttercup. You know, and Fred Savage is like, "What the fuck, Grandpa?"
Get out of my house. Yo, bitch, get out.
And Grandpa's like, "Yo, let me read the damn story. No interruptions." And he's like, "God damn it, read
This
it
will
right."
not be the last time I interrupt
Yeah.
you.
That can't be right. Somebody's got to kill Humperdinck.
So now we find out that it's Buttercup's dream, and the worst woman in the world just pops out of the crowd when everyone's bowing before her. She's just like, "You're the queen of refuse, of putrescence, of filth." Boo!
Bow down to her. Bow down to
This
the
is
muck.
Pretty much what I get on a daily basis those 5 days a week.
You know,
It's a bit of despair.
Now that I think about it, aside from
Steal my bet.
Fenric, Fennec,
Fezzik.
that guy. Aside from him, she's probably my favorite character in this whole movie. I just love her delivery.
So
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
we see Buttercup wakes up, and she's just having a nightmare. So she's in like a nightgown. She puts on a vest robe
Or a
thing?
curtain.
Yeah.
Like just a curtain.
You want to be
Goes,
decent.
talks to Humperdinck. She's like, "Check it out. I love Wesley. I'm never gonna stop loving him.
You will not bang me,
Yeah,
sir.
I'm gonna write 4 letters, send them out on your 4 fastest ships."
Oh, she's like, I'm just gonna commit suicide.
Yeah.
And then he's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. Before you do that, give me a chance.
Yeah, he's like, write 4 letters. We'll send him out on the 4 fastest ships.
Take a chance
You
on
know,
me.
if we find him, he'll come back, and then the wedding's off. If not, you know, then maybe marry me. And she's like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll go back to my room and cry or whatever."
Consider me an alternative to
Yeah.
suicide.
So that's a romantic line right there.
I should try that next time.
So now
Good luck.
we find out for sure because we catch
Is that part of your proposal?
we catch Count Rugen and Humperdinck talking to each other, basically about he's going to kill the princess on the wedding night, make it look like Gilder assassins did it. So now he'll still have his war. Tyrone's like, "Yo, I'm going to go start sucking this guy off," and he's like, "You want to watch?" He's like, "I do love watching you work, but I'm just too busy. I got a murder to plan. I'm out of here."
Let me know if it's a one-hander or two. Just curious.
And Rugen's like, "No, I'm using the machine." So we find out the machine sucks. It sucks life away. And in the book, it goes into, they torture the shit out of Wesley, and he's just like, "Whatever, true love, blah, blah, blah. I could endure whatever torture." And then Rugen's like, "Yeah, I got this machine." And it just like breaks him immediately. And like we see in the film, like it makes him cry and whatnot. But like in the book, he puts up a more of a stand till the machine gets involved.
You do. Yeah, it's not all like represented in this one particular scene, but throughout the whole movie and everything, he has shown to be more stoic and so on.
Yeah.
So you do still kind of get that vibe, but
So
although I do also wonder, they have this whole machine. I'm like, wait till they just see, was it Casino Royale, and you can find out all you need is a chair with the bottom taken out and smack somebody in the balls, and you'll have just as effective.
again, it's not explored as much for the sake of brevity in the movie, but we find out that Tyrone Rugen is like writing the definitive work on pain and suffering, and this machine is like his greatest work, and he's trying to actually like use it to objectively measure pain and whatnot, and that's why he's so intent on Wesley like being honest with him about how it feels and whatnot.
Which is actually, that is something that we still haven't figured out. How to actually objectively measure pain, because we don't actually know how it works.
Yeah.
So it's not even all.
That's not how we want to study it, but
Well, yeah, and it's one of those subjects that like a lot of what we know about it is from people doing horrible shit to other people in the name of science, like what the Nazis and what the Japanese did in World War II.
some of that stuff I think they did actually actively choose not to use.
Yeah.
So as to not.
It was a big ethical debate.
Yeah.
But it is also like, I feel that's a hard one to pin down anyway, since everyone has different thresholds of pain and all that shit. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So either way, the machine immediately breaks Wesley. He's just like afterwards, and I mean, I would be too. That thing was on his nipples. It was on like his ears. It was sucking on everything.
Suppose.
Not the good suck. It's powered by a water wheel and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So Humperdinck now, he summons his chief of security. He's like, get over here, get the fuck off my armrest. Assassins from Gilder are coming to kill my bride on the wedding day. I need you to clear the whole thieves' forest of people. And he's like, I don't got the manpower for that. He's like, well, form a brute squad. And then, like, we cut to the day of the wedding, and the brute squad's attacking the thieves' forest. And we find out there's this,
Yeah. What also? What the fuck is all this?
It's
he's-
Sherwood Forest.
yeah, it's the set of Sherwood Forest from Prince of Thieves.
I mean, I believe all that. But
Men in tights.
like,
actually.
hey, we have a small village out in the woods where all the thieves hang out.
Yeah.
Let's not do anything about that.
No.
Well,
No.
yeah, he wants to do it now because he wants to make it look like he's putting a show on.
Oh, I get all that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, if they're
Why
all
did you
thieves,
let them live there? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he employs people from that village quite often.
yeah, probably realistically, yeah.
So,
Also, they hadn't invented Agent Orange yet, so they couldn't find him.
so we find out that there's a Spaniard giving the Brute Squad trouble. And we're like, oh, we know a Spaniard. We haven't seen that guy in a little while.
Danny Trejo.
And it's Danny Trejo, just drunk off his gourd, swinging his machete at everybody, waiting for Vicini.
I would have been so happy to have seen that.
And then the leader of the Brute Squad comes to try to, like, you know, get him out of there. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to have my buddy do it. And Inigo turns around and he's just like face to pecs with Andre the Giant here. And you see, like, he puts his hand out and his hand's literally the size of Mandy Patinkin's head.
Yeah.
His fingers are just fucking massive.
He measures hand to
And that's
hand.
that's what drunk ass Inigo.
Yep.
He puts his hand in his hand. It's like a little baby hand. And he looks up. He's like,
Oh,
Fezzik?
Like literal sausage fingers.
So the leader of the Brute Squad comes over and Fezzik just uppercuts him like Johnny Cage, just like his head comes off. And it's
don't interrupt us. I'm having a
It's over.
conversation.
We're having a moment.
Yeah, Inigo passes out. So we get a little exposition. Fezzik explains to Inigo everything that's happened. Apparently, Fezzik just knows the whole plot now. He knows about Count Rugen somehow. He was very good at the intel.
Fairy tale?
Yeah, between scenes.
I mean, also, while we're at that, like, where are they?
The Thieves' Forest.
Yeah.
So
Where they started
everyone
the
just
adventure.
gave up?
Yeah.
Well,
all
no,
left.
they
The brute
were.
force.
The plan was if they got separated, they were going to meet Vicini.
No.
back where they hired him.
I get all that, but, like, we need to clear out all the thieves from
Yeah.
the Thief Forge.
did.
Only people we have left behind is the big brute guy and the Spaniard.
Well,
But we're not going to touch that because
He'll just make you knock out.
yeah. So they were all leaving. It was basically that was the last guy they had to get. So
yeah, but somebody's
That
got
checks
to
out.
follow up on this shit. Is my point? Like if you're
No,
you're
the guy that was
at all-
coordinating it just got his head punched off.
I guess that's
Yeah.
Brute Squad don't care.
Yeah, Fezzik's on the Brute Squad.
I mean,
he wants to squat in
you
the.
are the Brute Squad.
The other Brute Squad guys are like, "Hey, where's Captain? What's his name?" And I was like, "Well, he was in his 30s. You know,
Yeah.
he may have just dropped dead somewhere."
He got the scurvies.
The old gout.
I mean, yeah,
Or the
you
plague.
can easily
Snout
just
gout.
chalk this up to just shitty people, but
Yeah.
like, it's just kind of like, all right,
So
for convenience sake, no one does anything.
get a little montage where basically he tells everything to Inigo, nurses him back to health. He's taking poor Mandy Patinkin and just shoving his head in hot water and then in cold water over and over. Mandy Patinkin was saying he was just like, this was fucking awful. Like he
had
said,
to be.
Andre Giant was like, I'm going to be gentle with you. And he's like,
I don't think you can.
Yeah, he was not gentle.
Well, even if, regardless of how gentle, you're shoving his head into one thing of water to another thing of water. There wasn't a ton of time in between. Like,
It's not waterboarding, it's water boiling.
So, yeah, Inigo's like, enough. Okay, I got to go kill Count Rugen. How many men are at the gate? 30. He does some math. He's like, all right, we can't defeat 30. We need Vicini. Vicini's dead. We need the man in black. Let's go find the man in black. Fezzik's like, how the hell are we going to do that?
I know he's been everywhere, man.
He's like, my time of revenge is at hand. Don't bother me with trifles. And just walks off.
why not?
The plot will show us the
Yeah,
way.
literally.
He's like, well, the princess is getting married. The man in black was after the princess.
yep,
You know,
true love.
yeah, true love. Which how he knew about the true love part, I don't know.
How he knows about like any of this is fucking amazing.
He's reading the book.
Yeah,
Well,
he must be.
True love is a synonym for plot device.
So
Sure.
let's see here. So now we get another scene where the head of security, who I referred to as the Ginger, is talking to Humperdinck. And Humperdinck's like, double the gate guard. I need 60 men. And Buttercup comes in and she's all like,
Oh God, your
Wes-
mustache!
Wesley's going to come for me.
Yeah,
And yeah, so don't get excited about getting married. And he's like, oh, tomorrow we'll be going sailing for our honeymoon and all of the ships of our fleet will be there. And she's like, except your 4 fastest. You said you send your 4 fastest for Wesley. And he's like, oh, he's a terrible liar.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't do that. And she's like, you motherfucker. And
He's like, not yet.
he gives her such a, like, I'm going to grab your arm and walk you to your room. And she puts up, like, no resistance.
wouldn't say that if I were you.
Yeah, well, she calls him a coward and all that.
Yeah, this scene is kind of sad. Like, it's unfortunate when he is our main bad guy, and yet their argument seemed less threatening than the one she had earlier with Wesley, where he actually threatened to smack her. Because he's just like, he's like a parent. Like, you better not do this, or I will put you in your room in a timeout.
He is the most cowardly coward that ever
I mean,
cowered.
yeah,
What
sure.
else is he gonna do?
So, either way, he locks her in the room. He's like, I'm going to marry her tonight. And then he goes over to the pit where they have the machine. And he's just like, all right, you guys have true love. I can't allow that to exist. That's just not cool. Cranks the machine all the way up to 50. Rugen's like, no, 50. And he's like,
And this is where they get the soundbite from when he broke his toe on,
Yeah.
On the
No,
scooter.
more legitimate. This is I believe it's the Wilhelm scream.
No,
no,
Is the-
it's closer
the-
to that other one,
It's
but it's not
neither
either
of
of
those,
them.
Oh, it definitely is one of them.
Well, it's like the you got lit on fire scream, whatever that one is, but it's a different.
It's multiple screams layered on top of each other.
Well, but I swear to God, anyone right now type in the opening to Ah Real Monsters. It's the same fucking scream.
I don't even know what the fuck that is, Tony.
So either way,
Look it up on YouTube and you'll find out.
he's twitching like crazy. The machine's going nuts. He's screaming so goddamn loud. Everyone in the kingdom hears him from this underground room. And Inigo's like, oh, that's the sound my heart made when my dad died. We got to go there. But they're in the middle of a crowd. And so he can't get by. So he's like, Fezzik, take care of this. And he's like, everybody move.
His heart has a mouth.
Yeah. As, you would when Andre the Giant yells that.
I don't think he had to yell. Just kind of walk in front of him. Like, people are going to move for you. Don't worry about it.
So, yeah, they find the albino pushing an empty wheelbarrow to nowhere. And I guess that was for Wesley's body, come to think of it. Mm-hmm. Either way, Inigo points a sword at him, and he's like, where's the man in black? And he's like, what man in black? And Andre the Giant just fucking knocks him on the head to death.
Well, he jogs his memory.
Yeah.
And
And that's it.
Too hard.
He's gone. And that's the last we see of the albino.
Oh, yeah.
So they
presumably dead.
Find the way into the secret entrance in the tree that leads to the machine. And so Inigo has to call on his father's spirit for guidance with his sword.
His father shows up as a blue hologram
Yeah.
in a white robe.
It's a force ghost. Yeah.
So he defines...
We just get a Ouija sword.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wait, in the version you watched, was he a British guy or Hayden Christensen?
Who's Hayden Christensen?
Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
So, yeah, he like stabs a tree with his sword, which has amazing flex because that blade was all like, wow.
It's very well tempered.
Yeah. So, he's like, damn, and he leans on the tree, and that triggers the secret passage.
All right, so earlier,
Yeah.
the dude was like, where is that hidden knot? It's impossible to find.
And then just pokes it.
No problem, pokes it. This dude falls on the tree, pokes it. What the fuck?
What is his father's spirit was guiding him?
The trigger for the secret passage is not good.
Zach
It's like the
Baggins
trunk
was
of the tree.
Yeah, just touch anywhere on that. You're bad.
I imagine the idea is it's a very small spot, but if you know where it is, it's easy to do.
It's a
Or if you
secret
just
knot.
look at the tree, it's just apparently the entire tree.
So, all right. They go down and they find
Christmas Town.
they find Christmas Town, and Wesley's dead.
Yay!
in the-
Roll credits.
In the book, I could see why they didn't do this scene, but there's a scene I really wish they did because Count Rugen had an entire zoo of death that had multiple levels, and it had like every venomous animal and all the dangerous predators and all these things that could kill and hurt you.
Weinstein.
It's like my house.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like you had to go through all these layers that have different animals in them and overcome them, and then
It's like Diablo.
the final puzzle was it was just an empty room with the door on the other side, and they're freaking out because they're like, this is way too simple. There's some kind of trap here. I don't know what we're gonna do. And Fezzik just gets like so freaked out, he's just like, fuck it, and just bull rushes the door and knocks it down. And it turns out there was like a poisonous spider on the bottom of the knob that would bite you.
Oh,
So because Fezzik just smashed the door down,
it wasn't a
they were
problem.
fine. Yeah. Either way, it would have been a cool scene to see, but I could see why they did
Did you
not
read
do
the
it.
whole book?
I did, yeah.
That
The book sounds better.
It's
Usually
that
is.
happens a lot.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it literally it is this movie. Like it reads like all the lines are the same. There's a couple extra scenes, and like commentary on the book, and there's a forward, but it's really not much longer than the movie.
I would also question if that was how you got into this. How is that albino doing that? Like every couple, hours.
He has
or
the
so?
back. He has like a secret entrance or something like that. There
Yeah,
was
the tree is the
yeah.
secret door.
yeah. So there was a way that they could all bypass it, but Fezzik and Indigo had to go through like the main entrance.
Not past their initiative rolls.
Yeah, I don't know actually if Inigo
Fair
even
enough.
does the like divining with the sword or not. Either way, now Fred Savage is fucking pissed. He's like, wait a minute, Wesley isn't dead. He's pretending. He's like, who kills Humperdinck? Grandpa's like, no one kills Humperdinck. He's like, Jesus Christ, why'd you read me this story? And that's the actual line.
And Santa's like, I love it when you get nasty.
Grandpa's like, all right, I'm just going to go. And he's like, no, don't go. He's like, you read it right. And Grandpa's like, okay, just let me finish it. Trust me.
Tell you what, kiddo, just breathe into this pillow for about
Is
5
this where he's like, that's not fair? He's like, who said life
Yeah,
is
life
fair?
ain't fair.
Yeah, shut the fuck up,
You
kid.
gotta live with that Santa behind you.
Yeah, you're homesick and Santa's doing all kinds of terrible things when you sleep.
And I'm not getting my pension anymore.
You don't have a cold, kid. You have polio. You're never walking again.
And I died 10 years ago.
You're freaking the fuck out right now.
I left you my glass eye. It's haunted.
So anyway,
See this glass eye?
Also,
I smuggled this glass eye out of Nam. I had it up my ass.
Also,
for
I'm only
15 years.
haunting you to warn you, so you can tell your parents not to eat any of the food because Nilbog backwards spells goblin.
you don't piss on
Go
hospitality.
pee on all the food. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Call Elizabeth Warren.
You can't stand on the table because of the polio.
John has had enough. So,
Aw, I was entertained.
all right, we see Fezzik and Indigo looking
That's why
at
he
Wesley's
shut it
corpse, and Indigo's like, us Spaniards do not take defeat lightly. Grab the corpse. We're gonna go get a miracle, and I'm gonna spend all your money at Miracle Max's. So,
my money?
Sounds like a casino.
It's a
Yeah.
Magic Mike sequel.
so they show up, knock on this cottage.
Is that what Billy Crystal's doing on Broadway now?
Yeah, he's in that makeup and he's swinging his.
He doesn't need the makeup anymore.
They summon
to
this
make him look younger.
really decrepit, white-haired Billy Crystal, and he's like, "Go away," and he's like, "I'll call the Brute Squad," and Fezzik's like, "I'm on the Brute Squad." He's like, "You are the Brute Squad," and finally they determine that it's like he's already dead. You can't fuck this up any further. Just we'll give you
I'll
some
give
money.
it a shot.
See what you could do.
Also, I'm assuming this had more of a something going on in the book.
I don't remember really any major differences in the book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is like, it weirdly just kind of comes out of nowhere. Where it's like, I mean, Deus Ex Machina and all that kind of crap, but it is just like, oh, he died. Well, there's the miracle worker that the king just fired. Like, what? But, whatever.
Yeah, it's fairy tale shit. Convenient
yeah.
shit just comes out of nowhere.
Also, I don't
Sure.
think he's a real miracle worker.
Yeah.
No, but you would think this would be
he is the
set
guy.
up somewhere. Like, in the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
you see him getting fired or something, but...
He is the guy who did the song White Wedding, so he's,
It's not Billy Idol.
It's not Billy Idol at all. And also, it's the 80s where every movie didn't assume that the audience was retarded.
So
It doesn't mean you're stupid just because you set something up.
Well, they
anyway.
they explain it. He was the court miracle worker.
they explain it.
Humperdinck fired him,
Exposition.
so now he lives in a shack. He's
he
too
lost his
afraid to
confidence.
make miracles.
But again, it's them. Never mind.
Tony
All right.
wants the spin-off movie where it shows his origin story.
I want Billy Crystal doing the White Wedding video instead of
White
Billy Idol.
Wedding.
In the makeup or out?
Oh,
Either or. I'll take any Billy Crystal. Him and his BFG. I don't care. So anyway, what the hell's that? All right, so they got Miracle Max.
Yeah.
Miracle Max is just talking all kinds of bullshit. He's like, he's only mostly dead. Check it out. I'll get a bellows, just ram that down his throat, inflate this bastard, yell at him like, why are you not dead yet?
Yeah, this is called We Don't Know the Heimlich Maneuver Yet.
Yeah. What could possibly be
CPR.
keeping you hanging on? And then he like pushes on his diaphragm and he's
To
like,
life.
"To love." He clearly said to blave,
To Blaze.
to bluff. So, it's like a poker game and he got killed. And his wife comes out and she's fucking pissed. She's like, "You liar!
Boo!
You liar!"
Boo, you muck!
She starts yelling Humperdinck and he's like, I hate that word. And that's when Indigo puts everything together. He's like, all right, check it out. You bring this guy back to life, he'll fuck Prince Humperdinck up. Just ruin
Or
everything.
just fucking.
Just either or.
Right in the end.
Either way,
Yeah.
either way, you'll be reading about it in the news
Billy
tomorrow.
Crystal's like, all right, good, we're on. Skip ahead to the point where we've just made a fucking miracle pill. We're not going to show you how because we just pull it out of our ass.
Yeah.
literally.
Covered
Yeah.
in chocolate. That's doo-doo, baby. Apparently the pill takes 15 minutes to power up before you can feed it to Carrie Elwes. Because we were...
Only takes 6 if you do it rectally.
Because, we were debating. We're like,
depends
why
if
not
he-
just give it to him right now?
Might work better if he got it directly from the head of the police union in California.
And it's been quoted to death.
She was smuggling drugs that were disguised as chocolate.
Who was?
The head of the police union in California.
Oh,
Anyway,
just kind of
So-
tuned you out there.
they're leaving the cottage. His wife's like, well, they're like, have fun storming the castle. And his wife's like,
You think you can do
think
it?
it'll work? Yeah, I don't need a miracle. So now we cut to
But
a scene.
ching.
Because it was just a walnut covered in chocolate.
So we cut to a scene that's sort of like the Jurassic Park moat, where I need a diagram, because like there's 60 men in front of the castle gate, but like there's like a rampart across from the gatehouse that they're on that like overlooks the gatehouse.
I think it's a bridge that they're on.
Is that? Either way, it's got
It's
this
like a
like
footbridge or something.
it's got this elevated view where you could like peek over the wall and look at the only way in and out of the castle. That's like a serious security liability.
Like
Yeah,
a
that-
bridge over troubled plot lines.
So either way, they feed him the pill. And Wesley wakes up and he's like, I'll fight you both. I'll take you apart or whatever. And at this point in the first take of this scene, Andre the Giant literally just rips a 16-second fart that shook the set.
Oh yeah, originally I had that in my notes. I forgot about that.
And he was like swaying back and forth, Carrie always says, and like the sound guy had to like take the headphones off. Just like described it as having like peaks and valleys, like it came and went, and just so by the end of it, everyone's just speechless because they're like, just nothing like that has ever happened in front of any of them before. So apparently Rob Reiner was like, "Hey, Andre, you okay?" He's like, "I am now, boss." And I wish they kept
Absolute
that
unit.
footage. They recorded over it.
Oh,
But yeah, Carrie always, like, look it up on YouTube. Carrie always tells the story really well. But a 16-second long fart. So anyway, basically they figure out, they're like, okay, Buttercup's in there. I got to rescue her. I need a wheelbarrow and a Holocaust cloak, which are two oddly specific things to ask for back to back.
Very unfortunately named as well.
But the plan is we're going to have my immobile ass and one Mandy Patinkin push Andre the Giant on a fucking wheelbarrow wearing a fireproof cloak that we're going to light on fire.
Now, Joe,
Yeah.
maybe we should explain what a Holocaust cloak is to
It
those uninitiated.
It is, in D&D terms, a cloak of fire resistance that also can be lit on fire without harming you.
Gotcha.
It has nothing to do with the Holocaust.
Perfect.
It means Holocaust like lot of fire, like a crazy amount of fire. Not like we need to exterminate some people.
No.
But he is threatening to exterminate the gate guards as they're
Yeah.
wheeling him in,
He is.
which scares the shit out of all the gate guards.
I don't
Gets them
understand. Like Andre the Giant's already 7'4".
Yeah.
Four.
Just light him on fire. and
Why
have
do
him
we
run
need,
down.
why do we need the wheelbarrow?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. And
Maybe they
yeah,
were planning on like rolling him into the gate or something.
well, I
don't
think
know,
that
but-
no, I think the idea is more just like the scary image of him like not walking but moving kind of stuff. But and I guess the extra
Oh,
like
maybe,
2 feet or
maybe
whatever
Make
helps.
it look like
but
he's bigger and floating.
yeah,
But yeah, a 500-pound man on fire just running in going like,
I am the Dread Pirate
I'm
Roberts.
done.
I will
All
kill
right.
you all.
It's
That's fine.
diabetic
I imagine
arthritis.
it's
one
at
of
least
the other
taking out half
59
of
men
them.
could take care of you. I'm
Yeah.
gone.
I will say that's one hell of a workout that Inigo Montoya
Oh, yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lifting Andre the Giant in a fucking wheelbarrow.
That'll get your glutes going.
Yeah.
that
you
again,
are-
I say is the biggest problem with this whole
His glutes were going,
this
I-
plan
Yeah.
is it's up to him to lift the giant in a wheelbarrow
And not
while
knock
the
it
other
over.
guy is strapped to his back. And like,
Forget about that. That wheelbarrow ain't gonna fucking.
that too, yeah.
Like, put Carrie Elwes in there, too, if
And-
you're going to do
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Well, then he's
also,
getting lit on fire.
yeah,
but-
yeah. You also have the problem of like if Andre doesn't break that wheelbarrow, it's catching on fire.
No, it should have been.
Yeah,
it
all
should
of them in the
It
trench
should have
coat.
been Wesley stacked on top
Yep.
of Fezzik.
That
in the
would have made more
Holocaust.
in the
sense.
Holocaust. Yeah,
That would've
and then
made
just
more
Inigo
sense.
wheelbarrowing.
and that would have actually been the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah.
That's true.
Either way, we get another, like, blunder here where the portcullis is lowering and Fezzik just catches it and just throws it back up. And now, okay, you're strong enough to lift the portcullis. It's not like it just goes back up and stays there. It's not a garage door. Like, it's just coming back down. Like, I don't understand how that one works.
Let's tell ourselves that he threw it up with such force that like
It
caught,
broke out of the
Embedded
caught on
mountain-
something
mountains.
or
Yeah,
like
embedded into the roof.
Sure. So
Are they on? Are portcullises usually on like a ratchet system, whereas it goes
Yeah.
down, it's locked?
well, no,
into-
their gravity just takes it down,
Right.
but you need like a
It's locked
capstan
up,
with a
probably,
chain to pull it back up. Usually, you just have to release the capstan, and it'll
Unless
just
it had
roll
some
and
sort
drop
of
the
some sort of a
portals.
counterbalance to make it easier to.
I guess,
to
but
get
they're
back up again.
They're usually designed to be deployed very quickly. Either way, we're
That's why I
picking
wear-
it.
That's why I
Yeah.
wear tearaway jeans.
I'm crazy for just, saying how come the Miracle Man came out of nowhere, but now we're going to spend 20 minutes talking about.
I'm always going to talk
Well,
about
this is it.
things
This is
done wrong
this
with
is
castles.
acting how something actually works, not your weird fan fiction that you're writing.
No, they're plot devices.
What? Anyway.
It's a Deus Ex Machina kind of thing. Yeah.
So, either way, they assault the ginger. They're like, give us the gate key. He's like, I have no gate key.
It's got
We'll rip your
gingivitis.
mustache off.
Fezzik tears mustache off. He's like, oh, this gate key. So now they're inside the castle. Meanwhile, we cut to the wedding, and you got this fucking this minister here. He can't pronounce the letter R.
Yeah,
Marriage.
that's Elmer Fudd.
Isn't that a famous guy though?
I think so.
I think he's
yes,
the original
yes,
Pink
yes,
Panther,
yes.
isn't he?
And it's not
Like-
no, who was that was Peter Sellers, right? Wasn't he the original
Yeah.
Pink Panther?
Yeah, wasn't that Peter Sellers?
Well, he was the inspector in the Pink Panther. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pink Panther was the
Inspector
diamond,
Clouseau.
but-
Yeah,
Either way, I don't know.
I thought there was Peter Sellers. Maybe I'm misremembering.
No, I think that was just some other. I think he's a British actor, but I don't.
Okay.
It's John Cleese.
It's not
It's
John
not
Cleese.
John Cleese.
I know who that is.
It looked kind of like Eric Idle, but it's not Eric Idle
Not
either.
Eric Idle.
Is it Billy Idol?
It's not Billy Idle.
It's not. Yeah, he's not in this movie, Bric.
All right.
Yeah, he's not.
Keep
That
looking.
man is not a Monty Python. So anyway, so now Humperdinck looks at Count Rugen. He's like, "Go handle that shit. Take all your goons." And then he just decides to fast forward the wedding. He's like, "Just say man and wife," and he's like, "Man, wife," and he's like, "All right, we're married."
I'm sorry. What was that?
Man and wife.
It's Peter Cook, by the way.
Oh,
Peter
Peter
Cook.
Cook. Okay. That's what I was-
So either way, he has the king take Buttercup back to the honeymoon suite. And on the way back, she kisses him on the cheek, and he's like, "Oh, what's that for?" And she's like, "Well, I won't be seeing you again. You were always so nice to me. I'm going to kill myself tonight." And he's like, "Oh, that's nice." She kissed me. No.
He hasn't had an erection in years.
No. So, yeah, back inside the castle.
But the erection he'll have tonight will kill him.
Yeah.
He'll die happy.
Drain his heart of fluid.
So, Fezzik, Inigo, and Wesley are now inside the castle, and they run smack into Count Rugen and 4 goons. Count Rugen's like, "All right, kill the giant and the dark one, and leave the Spaniard for questioning." And Inigo tears through these guys like a buzzsaw through paper. I'm pretty
Santa
sure.
through a box of tissue.
Yeah, I think the third guy just runs at him and dies. I don't think he even gets stabbed.
Yeah.
like he goes through these guys real fast. So now it's just Rugen by himself, and he looks at him and he gives him the famous, "Hello, my name's Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die."
Goodbye.
Yeah, Rugen's just like, "Fuck that," and just runs. It's one of the best nopes.
I'm going home.
Yeah, he just runs and locks the door,
Yep.
and Inigo cannot get through this door.
He goes nuts.
Yeah.
He starts kicking it, nothing.
Bouncing off
shoulder
like a
checking it,
pinball.
yeah, bouncing off. He starts to cry.
Yes.
Fezzik, I can't get
This is
through.
revenge.
So squirrel stuck in a
He's
cage.
been looking for this
away.
guy
Try a
for
different door.
20 years.
No, I
He's now like a few feet away.
No, I
Like,
would definitely
no.
be the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Fezzik leaves Wesley just hanging off a suit of armor because Wesley can barely move at this point. And then he just casually strolls over and just smashes the door down, just with one tonka.
Yeah.
And then the door just falls off the hinges. Inigo goes running, but Rugen, he set up a little ambush. He got his boot dagger, and he throws that shit, it gets edited right into Inigo. And he's
Into
just
his
like,
spleen.
you spent your whole life pursuing me to, get revenge, and now only to fail right now.
Dumbass.
That's the best thing ever. Like, he's like, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to take notes. This is like the final chapter of my book.
So aside from being in the intestines,
Yep.
is that the kidney area? That what other things
That-
are?
I mean,
where
that
he-
was pretty dead center, so it was.
I thought it was off to the side. a little.
Well, yeah, but it was side-ish, but it's kind of in like it's below the liver, so it'd probably just be intestines, maybe the
Okay.
the
Yeah.
colon.
So I mean, he's not gonna die right away.
He's going to be in a lot of
Yeah.
fucking pain.
It hurts. Yeah, it's probably gonna get. That's why he was holding his hand in his shirt, was basically keeping stuff from popping out.
In the book,
I'm
the
familiar
wound is
with that.
addressed a little more. I remember that.
But yeah, that kind of injury, you're probably dying of sepsis within
Yeah.
a day or two.
Especially, I'm sure that he didn't keep his knives clean. So
It don't matter. All the
Yeah.
fucking junk in your lower intestine
Yeah, that's
Okay.
leaking
coming
out.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
found all the
you're
stuff on the
toast.
surface
Yeah.
of your skin.
No, he did Rambo and just put some gunpowder through the
Yeah.
tunnel
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
him and just
Just blew another hole. Blew a hole through himself.
He didn't have a Holocaust cloak, but he had a gay poncho. So
yeah, he was all right. So anyway,
Very absorbent.
yeah.
you better believe it.
So he powers up and he's like, I'm not gonna fucking die right here. I'm just gonna keep saying.
Well, he gets
that
stabbed
Inigo
first
Montoya
multiple
line.
times,
Well,
right?
as he's standing up and saying the my name's Inigo Montoya thing, Rugen goes to stab him and he kind of half-heartedly parries it, so it hits him in both of his shoulders. And then he just basically ignores that there's holes in his arms and just starts getting better. And Rugen's just like, oh shit.
You're fucking nuts.
Yeah. So another behind the scenes thing, Mandy Patinkin, the actor, he one of the things that put a little extra oomph behind his performance is he lost his father when he was very young to cancer in an allegory very similar to what happened to Inigo Montoya. And he visualized that throughout the whole
Cancer shortchanged him on a sword that he made.
yes, throughout the whole researching his lines and all of that. Like he was Inigo defeating this guy in the sword fight is like
Him beating
me,
cancer.
Yeah, me going to bring my father back. It was a very it didn't sound like a very healthy
No,
frame of
but-
mind he was in. He was also just out unhinged, out of control with the sword, and legitimately stabbed Christopher Guest at one point. It's a trading sword, but Christopher Guest is legitimately terrified in this scene because Mandy Patinkin's going berserk, channeling his dead father.
Keep it going. This is gold.
So yeah, the acting in here gets a little bit of
Oh,
enhancement on both
paramedics, stay
sides.
back. I still want this.
So this scene's just great.
That is,
What's that?
Sorry, just that is one of the things where I'm sure we're mostly better for it, but there are those moments that in classic cinema or whatever where people's lives are actually threatened and stuff, and you get a certain performance that you just never see anymore.
I mean, yeah, I despite my feelings of any other part of this movie, that scene was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Tom
Absolutely
Cruise
phenomenal.
does it to himself.
Yeah.
But I'm
Tom
talking
Cruise is a mess.
Shelley Duvall being tortured for The Shining.
Yeah.
It's not good, but it did get she's amazing.
Arnold
Very believable.
Schwarzenegger actually being chased by a pack of dogs
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
and falling down a cliff.
So anyway, basically, he reverse does everything that Rugen did to him, where he stabs him in the arms, he gives him the cuts across his cheek. He wants Rugen to offer him anything, all his money, all his power, anything he wants. And Rugen is like, please, and then for whatever reason still tries to attack him. And he's like, I want my father back, you son of a bitch, and runs him through. And you're just like, fuck yes.
Did he
Father
get
avenged.
any Oscars or anything else for that performance? 'Cause,
No, I
that,
don't
it
think
just
so.
it was a fantastic performance.
So, you're like, okay, that's a hard scene to follow. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah,
And Princess Buttercup's about to like kill herself in her in the wedding chamber. Somehow did not notice her true love lying on the bed for.
She only had eyes for that bridal dagger.
Yeah, it was like the Renaissance equivalent of the corporate pistol. Like it's in this nice decorative box. This is the kill yourself dagger.
It's a beautiful.
In case of massive fuck up,
but honestly,
break glass.
The way Humperdinck was treating her, I'm sure he was just like, here, keep that in your room.
Just in case.
But it is kind of, as you kind of pointed out, like, true love allowed me to, cross oceans to find you and survive death and everything, but apparently won't get you to look like 2 feet to the left.
She wasn't told to.
That was some serious ass canopy on that bed. So either way, she's about to stab herself, right in their sternum, and
you got nice boobs, don't do it.
Yeah, he's like, there's a shortage of perfect breasts in this world. It'd be a pity to ruin yours.
Stop knife, show Bob's.
Yeah, and she just like fucking Jimmy Snuka flies onto Wesley on the bed and just starts making out with him.
Death by snoo.
He's like, gently.
Why aren't you holding me?
Yeah. And
My arms don't work.
pulls his head back with a kiss and then releases it. And he just slams his head on the headboard.
He's like, yeah, I'm like a balloon. You got to reinflate me.
So
also great props to him for like all the
Flopping about
lack of work. I don't know what to call that.
he's on
But
his 4th smashed bone and concussion.
well, that too. But like,
not
it's
even
just
acting.
he does it really well.
I studied ragdoll for 17 years.
So she's like, why aren't you holding me? Then she's like, oh, I got married. And he's like, no, you didn't. And she's like, no, I was there. It happened. And he's like, it didn't happen. It's like, you didn't say I do. It didn't happen. Isn't that right, Prince Humperdinck? And he was like, damn it, I was about to fap. He's like lurking in the corner.
I like to watch.
And he's
judge.
like, all right, I'm going to kill you. He draws his sword. He's coming towards him because he thinks Wesley's immobile. So he's like, to the death. And Wesley's like, no, to the pain. And he says some pretty dark shit for a PG movie right here.
He took this right out of the Sicilian's playbook. He's just like, I'm going to talk weird shit to you until I can feel my fingers.
Yeah.
So
He's bluffing.
yeah, he's stalling till he can get enough strength to stand up.
Exactly. I'm just
For
stalling
you, it was weird
whatever I
shit. For me, it was Friday.
But essentially, he threatens this dude with like, we're going to cut your hands and feet off. We're going to poke out your eyes, cut off your nose.
Yeah, and then
cut
my
out your
ears too.
tongue.
Get on with it.
Yeah, and he's like, wrong! Your ears you keep. So that, like, everyone who's like, oh, God, what is that thing? Is yours to cherish.
Every
forever.
child who cries
Yeah, every
will
baby
ring
who
in your
weeps.
perfect ears.
Really, just a man after my own heart.
It's like, I leave you in utter ruin forever. That is to the pain. And, Prince Humperdinck's a coward. He's like, well, he probably can't do that, but I really don't want him to do that.
That sounds pretty bad.
Yeah. Now, if he was reversed with Count Rugen would have written all that shit down. He's like, all right, we're doing that. Like, bring him back to the pit.
He's like,
I'm doing that to you.
Not me, but someone definitely needs to have this happen.
but yeah, you can see he's like, that's freaking terrible, and I'm legitimately intimidated. But I don't think you can back it up right now.
And he's like, can I, you miserable vomitous mass?
He's like all the foxes that he's hunted have been like pre-cut, karate school boards.
And he's like, that's the first time anyone's dared to insult me. He's like, it won't be the last. And finally, he just stands up, points his sword at him. He's like, drop your sword.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Yeah, and Humperdinck just pusses out,
Pisses
sword-
all over the floor.
Big old pool of excrement forming in his pants. Drops the sword.
Blasts out
Literally
his cold.
gathers his skirts
Yeah, tucks his skirts up.
Literally does.
and
yeah.
sits in the chair that Wesley told him to get in.
And as Buttercup tie him up.
And he gives him the best lap dance he's ever had.
Actually, now that you mention it, that's the first time she actually did something like without having someone else do it for her.
I mean,
She
she told
tied
off
him up.
Humperdinck.
Well, she knows how to tie a man up.
True.
She knows how to call a man a coward.
So anyway, now Indigo shows up, and Wesley's like, oh, thank God. And just drops him.
Her burns were just as severe as Wesley's, man. She was
So,
at it.
Yeah, they're like, where the hell's Fezzik? Fezzik's like, check it out. There's 4 white horses and 4 of us.
Looks like meat's back on the menu.
The horse is like, wait a minute. You are not riding me.
You want horse?
You weigh more than I do.
Yeah, it's like, it's okay. It'll be my stunt double.
Instead of Andre the Giant, it's just Michael Chiklis. Apparently.
Okay, imagine this. This is pretty fucking epic, all right? I did a rod, okay?
What'd you do with it?
Pack of dogs, pulling a sled, but it's horses, and Andre the Giant is on the toboggan.
So just
That'd
a
be
horse-drawn
terrifying.
sleigh.
Chariot.
Yeah,
Well,
chariot
yes,
race.
but like it's a dog sled thing, but with horses and
So
a
sled.
giant.
They
Yeah.
they leave.
What if we do reindeer, guys?
Oh.
What if it's sled drawn by reindeer?
So we'll have a janky ass Santa fapping on the back. So anyway,
Until the ice cream buddy comes.
they all just throw themselves out the window. Andre catches them. At this point,
she doesn't throw herself out the window. She like
daintily,
flutters.
yeah, it's like the princess in Mario 2. You hold B button down and
Mario
she floats.
2, and it was.
She
I
rings
think
the
it was
power
also
Galadriel floats down.
what was the one with the goblins and the you stole my brother
Labyrinth.
Yeah, wasn't there something like that in Labyrinth too?
Kind
I thought
of.
there was.
I think the end where she kind of
was
jumps
halluc-
through the Escher painting.
Yeah, she was hallucinating
Oh, yeah,
at one
that's right.
point. And-
Oh,
I think
thought,
she was hallucinating that whole movie.
I was thinking he's maybe talking more when she's falling down that pit and all the hands are.
No, yeah,
No,
that too.
I thought there
No,
was
it was
something
when
where she was just
she
in.
eats
Is-
the peach
okay,
with the
yeah.
worm in it, and
Oh
yeah.
they're at the ballroom, and then the ballroom
Oh, yeah.
shatters, and she's floating through.
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I
basically,
know the part.
they go out the window. Inigo's like, I don't know what I'm going to do in my life now. You know, I got revenge. You know, and that's kind of all I've ever thought about. And he's like, you'd make a great Dread Pirate Roberts.
Plus, you're gonna die soon.
Yeah, all those wounds will kill you in a couple
Don't
minutes.
worry about that. So
Maybe a couple hours.
they leave Humperdinck tied up, and presumably they've killed all his guards or scared them off. So I guess he's going to be there for a while. It's gonna like the king's going to have to find him and untie him.
I suppose so.
King's not going to untie him.
No, he's just going to tell him how Buttercup kissed him.
He's going to just start reading him a story.
Yeah.
About true love.
Humperdinck, come untie this young man.
So Inigo.
That's how I spent
Wesley,
my honeymoon
Buttercup,
too.
and a very bad stunt double of Fezzik ride off on 4 white horses. And we see
It's
that.
like Daniel Radcliffe in the Weird Al wig.
So we see Buttercup and Wesley are about to kiss, and Grandpa closes the book, and Fred Savage is like, you know what, Grandpa, let's hear it. I want to hear about the kissy stuff
Tell me
now.
your dipshit story, Grandpa. Just
And Grandpa finishes.
all over the bed.
So he pushed her head down into the bed,
And then-
lifted her legs onto his shoulders, and you sure you want to hear this kid?
Santa's like, yeah.
Are you sure I should be telling you this, kid?
So we learn about the 5 greatest kisses in the world and how this was better than all of them.
Apparently, there's just like judges that follow
Yeah.
all couples.
Well, I think
everywhere.
in the book, I think you get backgrounds on a couple of those kisses, and you get like a humorous anecdote.
One of them
But-
was Kermit and Miss Piggy.
Yeah. So basically, now like the book's closed. Grandpa's leaving, and he's like, "Grandpa, can you come back and read it tomorrow?" And he's like, "As you wish." And the movie ends.
Yay.
Princess Bride.
Tony.
So what annoys me is that Prince Humperdinck is left in power to continue to misrule
I mean,
his subjects.
maybe.
Yeah. He's also the greatest hunter in the world, and like that's his legit skill. Like he can gather up troops and just go right after them.
Yeah. They'll kill him.
Probably. Without Count Rugen, he's like, what's the point?
Yeah. Pretty much.
His hetero life. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah.
Tell us a
So
little bit.
on RottenTomatoes.com, critics gave this a score of 97%.
Oh, jeez.
Audience gave this a score of 94%.
Yeah. I thought it would be higher.
I mean, that is also, that is, because modern day and whatnot. But that's their thoughts and opinions. Let's. Ooh, why did I not do that? Get you and yours, Joe. Since you've been talking, talk.
Just keep talking.
Just keep
No
talking.
one else gets the microphone. All right.
Ever.
Yeah. I mean,
After you were done.
yeah. It's like I don't want to say perfect, but it's as close to perfect as you get. Like the movie, it's a very like cliched plot, but it's the cliched plot, and it's done perfectly. That's the only thing I can think where I would take marks off. Would be like it's a classic story that we've heard a bajillion times, but every part of it is done perfect. All of the scenes are great. It is the most quotable movie in the world. It has a stacked cast of all-stars. All of them deliver amazing performances. I've seen it so many times, and I know most of the lines. Like I know all the jokes. I know that they're coming, and some of them still get me to laugh. And it's a great comedy. It hits the dramatic heartstrings when it needs to. Amazing script. I even like the sappy shit with Fred Savage and his grandpa, which normally I would not give the time of day. So all the movie's shortcomings with the storytelling and whatnot, I am easily willing to ignore. This is one of those movies where I can turn off and just like, I want to enjoy this film. And it does not disappoint. It's easily an A+. It's easily one of my favorite movies. And yeah, I love it.
Until it gets remade better with Kristen Stewart and.
Are they doing that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm sure they will eventually.
Eventually it'll happen.
But
I think once Mandy Patinkin is no longer able to wield a rapier, this movie will be remade.
that's what's holding them back. He keeps threatening.
Him or Carrie Elwes will still stab a bitch to stop that from happening.
I've already proven. I don't care if it takes 20 years. We'll kill you. John.
Yeah, no, basically, the same thing. This is one of the movies where I can just completely let go and just enjoy for what it is. In my perfect world, if we're talking about remakes, I would like to see an R-rated, gritty remake of this. Huh?
Why?
Just because.
Go watch Game of Thrones. Why ruin this?
I'm just saying, if we are going to make a remake,
Well, we're not.
That's
full-
the direction you'd want to go in.
I'd want to go with a full,
Full R.
But
full,
You want full penetration.
not a family movie.
it not be remade at all.
Yeah, you don't have to touch this.
Okay, so it'd be
But if
an
it's
actual
happening-
person in a Santa costume jerking off
Not that gritty.
behind Fred Savage.
Yeah, not that gritty.
It'll be a CGI, like, weird-ass goblin stuck on the wall.
Well, I'm sure we can talk Zack Snyder
A
into making
Hoobin'
it.
Gooblin.
But yeah, for what it is, for
Zack Snyder
for a family-friendly
Right?
movie,
Jesus.
this is about as good as it gets.
Whoa!
Alien down!
Get away from him, you bitch!
He did not hit the ground. He was caught in my coat.
Oh, that's fine.
I don't know why he fell.
Probably.
Let's just leave him here.
I'm gonna guess those
Or her,
spindly
that's
ass
a queen.
legs. Yeah, that's a queen.
Yeah, it's
Slay queen.
it should have a stand probably by your feet somewhere as well.
Whatever.
But yeah, balanced on a cardboard box, probably not the most stable.
It was a big cardboard box. Well, is a big cardboard box.
Oh yeah, just
It's a 10305.
All right.
sorry, John. You were
so-
talking about
yes.
this movie.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, for what it is, for a family-friendly movie, it's pretty damn close to perfect.
Rob.
I mean, I'm just gonna echo what these guys said. It's no Predator, but
What if there was a scene where Indigo, Fezzik, and Wesley were just firing automatic weapons at the jungle, but screaming for like 10
At the
minutes?
fire swamp.
At
I
the
mean-
fire swamp. Yeah.
as long as Bill Duke jumps onto an ROUS and stabs the shit out of it.
See, that's the R-rated gritty version.
Yeah, if I get to
Have
see,
me some fun.
You
tonight.
talked me into it. I'm in.
yeah,
I'm
if I get
in.
to see arterial spray from one of those midgets inside the fur costume, I will. I'd be totally on
From
board.
actual actor, not even just.
Yeah, not just
Yeah.
not special effects. We want
Don't mess
I
around.
don't know, my brain
we
was
want
like,
real little person
Tony
murder.
Weathers will play the albino.
Sure, why not? Why not?
I like how we went from a gritty R-rated cup to a full-on snuff film. All right.
No, it was good. I enjoyed it. Full marks.
I'll skip some of this. I can't go as far as to say perfect, really, but for what it is close enough to it, I suppose. Because it's just fun. It's just a fun movie. Like again, the cliched stuff or some of the just kind of dumber stuff or whatever. It can be explained away with it's a fairy tale, so whatever. It doesn't have to be all that, special. And it's just a lot of fun. So, yeah, I will recommend it. And now to ruin everything, Bric.
Oh, and so I will, as you wish. You're not wrong when you say this is highly quotable. Totally not in any disagreement there. There were really great scenes in this, especially the
All of them.
The
the
ones where words
vindication scene
happened
where
or
he
action took place.
stabs the guy who killed his father, and I loved Andre the Giant in this movie. It was I more or less liked everything that he did in this movie. It was
think you're
hilarious.
allowed not to.
Yeah,
So-
no, it's just good. But
If you want some broken
I just
English.
don't give a shit about this movie. Like I would not even bother staying on it for like probably a whole scene if I were channel surfing. I would probably rather watch a commercial. I like something that I haven't seen before or haven't seen considered or tried before. Nothing in this movie seemed to be particularly novel. It was just incredibly boring to me, and the main characters I think are the big issue because for me they just look like they're in a totally toxic relationship. Princess Buttercup, I can't stand her name. It's just totally stupidly cheesy. She's a freaking waifu pillow. Wesley is a chump.
She's not crispy like yours, though.
I don't know. What? I didn't. Crispy like a
Masturbation.
Go on.
Like
go
your
on.
wife
Go
would
on.
pillow, yeah.
Please
No,
continue. Please
I don't
continue.
have one of those
Anymore.
So yeah, I don't care about this movie. I had no invested interest in it, and it's weird because everything that doesn't do it for me in this movie and everything that apparently does it for the rest of the planet, it's the complete opposite, it seems, for most of the movies that I'm like, no, I could see some redeeming qualities in this movie. It's a weird experience. I have no idea why this movie is so popular, and I don't give a damn about it.
Wow.
I wouldn't rate it an F though. I would rate it like a C-.
Yeah, I'm, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm
accept that
more
one.
shocked because this is your mark, and I know some of the things that have cleared it in
Yeah.
our redeeming factor, and
Yeah.
holy
Yeah.
shit, there's something off.
I
in my
never
opinion.
said I was
Anyway,
normal.
we all have our trigger points that like keep us from getting invested in a movie.
Yeah.
That like it was like when you guys were gushing over Independence Day and Pacific Rim, and I was sitting here like I hate
Did
these
we
fucking
gush
movies.
over
Yeah,
Independence Day?
let's
Well, you
chill on that word.
You all recommended it, and I was like, that was the
I don't
worst.
even remember recommending
Yeah,
it.
I don't either,
I
but
thought-
That-
we
that
were
one-
we were more favorable.
yeah.
movie's
That one and
boring as
Pacific
hell,
Rim
man.
were both like everyone recommended, and I was like, that was one of the dumbest things I ever saw.
Like
Not
legit.
mutually exclusive in my
I
world.
really did not like the Never Give In, Never Surrender or whatever that we did last time.
No retreat, no surrender.
Yeah, that. I would rather watch that movie than this.
Yeah, that there's no explanation for.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
There's lots I could say, but
we don't have the time.
None of it will be helpful for the conversation.
No.
Well, what in this genre of movies, what would you recommend instead?
Labyrinth. That's a
It's a very different movie.
it is a
Yeah.
very different movie, but it's also a fairy tale, but it's got something in there that I haven't heard of before, haven't seen before. It's a fairy tale movie that has its own unique world building. Like the Fire Swamp was probably, I think, the only thing in there where I was like, okay, this is at least different. Everything else was just kind of like, as you alluded to before, it was cookie cutter.
Have you ever seen Stardust?
I don't think I have.
Be interesting to see your reaction to that.
Yeah.
And, I was thinking as far as like alternative recommendations, I don't think anybody here has seen it, but I would actually recommend Dudes and Dragons, which is a parody of all of these kinds of fantasy movies, which is hilarious as fuck, because when I was watching this, I was like, they totally ripped this off of Princess Bride. Well, they totally ripped this off of Princess Bride, but I liked it more because they were like, we are not taking this seriously at all.
Well, that's part of the Princess Bride wasn't taking itself seriously either.
Yeah,
It's
but
also breaking all the ground.
this is when you see that movie, you'll know what I mean. It's just
I don't know if we will.
What gay porn is this?
it's not gay porn. It's orc porn in some cases, but it's Dudes and Dragons.
What did you say?
Not far off.
Not far off.
All right.
It's,
So
if I remember correct, you won't know.
I-
It had what James Masterson or whatever, Spike from Buffy, and
Marsters,
Luke Perry.
yeah.
Or Marsters,
Yes, yeah,
And
he
Luke
is.
Perry.
yep.
Wow, that's a pairing.
That's
Oh, we're
That's a
gonna
cast.
fight a dragon. Who's gonna grease me up?
That
Anyways,
does happen,
so
I think.
besides Bric, I know one person in my circle of friends who's like, this movie isn't that great, and everybody else is like, this movie's fucking amazing.
Who else
So-
besides me? Do you know that?
I will not say them on the air.
Okay.
I mean, for me, it's not like a movie that I would like just watch any old time. Like I have to be in a very specific mood for it. But that, I mean, by no means is that it's a bad film.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, we've covered all this.
know, but
He's
So,
entitled
what-
to
yeah.
his opinion. It's fine.
I'm putting it in perspective.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where it's like the 94% is accurate. Like
And I don't know who you're talking about, but I would be interested to know if there is a connection between like when you saw this as well. Because
that it probably
And
is.
you were
It's
older
weird,
when
too,
you first
though.
saw it.
I think so,
You're
yeah.
going-
But it's weird too because I wouldn't necessarily even qualify this as a bad film. It's just a why bother film. So
entertainment. That's why.
it to me it wasn't entertaining. It was made well. I just didn't give a damn.
Not enough guys greasing each other's up to fight
Exactly.
a dragon.
Yeah.
I see,
Exactly.
I see.
But ultimately, the end here is as a podcast, we recommend Princess Bride.
Easily.
And if you're not a fan, The Labyrinth, I would say check out. What else we got?
Sure.
But this is clearly one of the best movies we've ever reviewed.
Oh,
Yeah.
We did do Predator. All right. So
Yeah. But I mean it's up there. It's in the top 10 of movies we reviewed.
sure.
I also did The Thing, but that's...
Yeah.
The Thing was such a good movie.
Big thanks to John who sponsored the episode. Thanks.
Yeah, well, thank you. I also got a sweet Four Guys in a Movie podcast.
Swagware.
he did
is
a
how
barrel roll when he came in here to try to roll himself.
after seeing how we, treated everything and recorded this, he wants his money back.
Oh, well, too bad. Sorry to get spent.
That's true.
Who touched the die last? Who rolled No Retreat, No Surrender? I know it wasn't me.
I rolled
that's
No
not,
Retreat, No
That's not the
Surrender, I
last
think.
thing we rolled.
What is what is the? Oh yeah, I forgot. That's right. Something is rolled up.
Yep.
That's right. So I don't know that we're gonna even roll this time, guys.
No, we do
Oh, we
have
saw
one in
another
queue.
sponsored episode
We
too.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
All right.
worry, you'll like this one.
So yeah, we'll just stuff's in the pipeline. We don't need to touch a die.
Now Tony's throwing up a hand for it, and he's standing there.
Let's end the episode.
Let's do, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Bye bye.
Let's
Adios.
roll down a hill.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody. As you wish.
I got pee.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, and if possible, leave a review. If you have questions, comments, or would like to sponsor an episode, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can buy a t-shirt, hoodie, and more at Teespring. Or gain access to exclusive content by becoming a patron at patreon.com/4ampodcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.